I was good evening. Yeah, Baba Jasu Jumedia. So we're live on 101.7 FM. So now live your partner radio stations. Say High Life Radio. Our DMV Kings Jersey Radio. Peke live. Our New Jersey. And after Adutwum media. So we're Belgium, ne France. Our live also. Our High Life Radio. And Migacho FM. Our Kukren to me. Naspa Radio. So Peke live. Our UK. London Abrochimem. Good evening. Akwaba so Emma. Production team no Mr. Johansson DOP bedi akon ansa na afe miankasa vim lady so. Until good evening bio all the way from Ship House Ewa Abeka Junction. We are broadcasting online in the air everywhere and the technology we are everywhere. My name good evening because and then Galamsey is back on the board because yeah Supreme Court judge Amaya Tia say Abaye faili in the fight against Galamsey. Or say government has failed. Aye West acting your friend saying CJ. Or say Galamsey na aye West. Yeah, you know idea dance yet. Even your NDC ni kra unim say what by and the say politics aside, Galamsey ni the aye West. Because of the continuous politicization. Thank you, you know, because we politics no tunchen. Yenya baako, yen jintum say Galamsey ni say yensu. Yeah, one here, in the next 10-20 years, there will be no issue. But because of extreme, unnecessary politics, until we are here, where MPP for wakunya, so no monko for ni be ye Galamsey. And this is waba, and this in crop also for say, as I say, as you did man moye, as I say, Galamsey ni be. In fact, and this time he cried the iOS. Said the Emmanuel Abema Erastus as I don't call award-winning journalist for the Galamsey documentary. And the winning journalist of the year. Erastus Asaridonko is saying, say, Adenai West, party chairman for Fourth Estate newspaper publishing particular party chairman na on the what bonny yam capitalist banda and the Galamsey and the O2. And we know NDC is under pressure because in opposition, until we are here, where like see a Chief Justice is saying, no, Galamsey no, I am worse. And he's not wrong. He's not saying it because or NDC and or MPP. He's saying it as Chief Justice say. You see the law. Yanya law na ma a lawyer so. Any anya law, ama judges. Any anya law no ama bailiffs. Any court registrar for any judiciary. The law was done to protect the interest of the ordinary person. Emra a beriasi because as I say it to me protected the interest of the average person. Into as CJ, he's concerned. He's concerned. Say and net Galamsey no aye West. Aye West. Na se party be an president mama ko program as no can about media. Say media for juma democracy be a bit meeting timua. Media neka hon. The freedom of the press. Now freedom of the press also stands in some of these issues. Say and near national issues no. As I say, press to me kukudoka. Insult or no insult. And I am found what you obi atem crowd. Dear President Mama can say, as I say media for no to me Gina woman so. Ain't na President Mama can say, oh, obey you be the atembiano, obey chono. Because you see, the freedom of the press, yeah, a man call for some atem. That is not the essence of freedom of the press. Theo, freedom of the press, no, yeah, say yen did atem. Bibi na ye ena homa free so betwa abayira homa mu a amana mo ye mane because of again like Galamsey no unnecessary politics intino time na NDC what opposition ye didi atem no man kasa omo se anya hwe in fact omo encouraging for aluta continua and then NDC aba power na nkofo didi atem no the same issue na ba betwitwi you see now President Mahama is saying say because utina konwa no to you are a president for all. MPP for you are a president for them. NBC for you are a president for them. PNC for you are a president for all. See, President Mama, so look, at him did you know why? And to what did the attempts they say, you better check VP and your babacho. And rightfully so, because you see, Sanka MPP for our Bermuno, and this is supported. And you share, I say, in fact, we don't even need new laws. You are in criminal law, the giant criminal act of 1960. I say. Publication of false news a criminal offense. O threatening will be a threat of assault, threat of injury, threat of harm, threat of criminal offenses. but yet kroma and crofwa ye bia time and NDC wo position o man ka wet because e boa some crofwa na no mo ye no supposedly these were their people nti o man complaining president Mahama nka se Kufuor ye law ye VPN ana trace IP address ye ko chichi crofwa no there be president Mahama nka se NDC for amudidi na nado atamunya yo wanka MPP for so amudidi e friend say Mahama opposition leader attempt at the time na no so to me ameka say musumunja Mahama attempt didie no there be once it annuls to the benefit of Kufuor MPP NDC any Mahama no any NHS yenkoso you see ya dia come merry go round aba bedu baby enyina ade atum say atenye no emmoa yen enti se Galamsey na no obi koka ho asem na udi na tema na chief justice again it's still iOS. And yet, no amount of atimdidie will change the fact that yeah, the Galamsey ni say asase. And then Ghana importing fuel from Spain near broche $5 million worth of mineral water. And you import it. As nothing like that. Ye kunye ho. And Kofonya cancer, if you go to a boss with Takwa Pristia, Uni Valley or Boise, any idea, there are conditions that are very particular to mining areas. One here back a cyanide, any mercury no, queen cradada, a monk of baby cancer, or the Kotakwani a boss near the Korea. Almost every year be a rante Uber Busane Keshe boys ya chemicals near Kumomo, ne Juma or what. And Kakas will be better than a bank or a boase. And that you know why how many me say ya wo me what me tema bi Vanko or Honma o koya Galamsey ayeden. Because I need you pon Bible so me usika de obenya no ve. What we need to do is at the end of Kufuor to start here and 1D 1F no. This is what will power Mahama 24-hour economy no. Me think NDC for say any more priority and I was sad. Say on mine ye cheche ko backward and I ye cheche ko forward. Abroni be yenti onto aso. Eso ka oto aso a jobs ni e be create no anya NDC for na be nya na anya MPP for ni nyina e Ghana. Gapoa Valco, Gridco, GBC, one companies are Ghana, ye create your more employment for NDT there, MPP there. You must continue it. That is the only way we can safeguard the youth. Yes, I may say a bedroom may be Ghana, your life expectancy rate, you know, or be a new 50 years near you. Yeah, Galamsey, yeah, and home chemicals, mercury, cyanide, the Ekumien, and not Chief Justice Ekano. And not Chief Justice Ekano. It's me issue with President Mahama and say now no say the old kasa wakochi abrante ya yako jail no where the ono kasa TikTok and kasa produce court no ono akra plead guilty sentencing is 7 months also baba be the president ni if it's our conviction you can't be president but also baba be the president but you see it comes to the bottom line say sir also this is an attack of the media and I think perhaps sometimes one day they must go and apologize to President Kufuor on this because I remember in 2020, time a journalist when I kato first and media under attack, and that is a culture of silence. I remember, and I'm not afraid to admit that Mikebi, it's a culture of silence that MPP for were using at MDDA, and that NDC for the threats. Yebekum, because me Chroma 2020 NDC was Yebekum because my coach change the election results. I think me easy. Me more electoral commission. As they said it, threats, MPP for the and I remember contributing and saying that yes, there's culture of silence. But you see, this one, somebody who also said this is also culture of silence because you see, I think that one of the things, a very thin like gray area between President Mahama and President Kufuor is that when you get media for any jelly or more, where TikTokers, but again, Obia Constitution man the right to be as a freedom of expression. Constitution and cast a journalist in the thinking of a more mature constitution, perhaps they were anticipating say free speech no more can I for media for to say the America for the world. But America, you see, almost a First Amendment. It's First Amendment, not just freedom for the media. It's freedom for everybody. So on the score of say your constitution if you want, like I said, you can free speech organ and constitution, my chest will be there. I think that they also say we must caution people. But in a brand case, you see, a slightly not freedom of expression. Because when you threaten say Obekumobi, when you threaten to be proud be I know there what freedom of expression anymore criminal act of threat to kill, threat to harm. It's your honor, nobody will feel sorry for you. Tomorrow be anya careful, mommy. The Amediri NDC for say, Sankamu boa ekufuado no more years say more supporting no. Saturday and confording attempt from America from Europe no be so camera. No we didn't attempt okufuado come meeting kwa UN. No kodano tonkwa akokrawa. Said the bianipa UN meetings omu to me yan be 8 just say who honoma dear cry yan mama first ye ko UN meeting utu mi tonko no wada. And so we encourage people to attack ekufuado any boys no maba no no suro mferi obi no moko unless we come together as NDT and NPP na man kasa mo ne mo supporters be kasa ade enye because we didi Mahama atem and enye because we didi Akufo-Addo atem ade enye no enye ne ye koso ye say ya masa oman ye be hye no ye be chen Rwanda yes oman no yes oman no so what I say yes oman no it may cause me perhaps one of these days, there was here me in particular, I may have to do that. On other issues, they could still I stand by where I stand. Say no, Nyama Baby Ankoye under his government. He could have saved NPP from the embarrassment that they are experiencing today. But on the issue of freedom of expression, I think Akufo-Addo was more lenient. Because on Akufo-Addo, like I said, himself, who he that? No, Koyin said Timenez who. Now one year before the level of atem didi kakreya. Na mama ba ese kakreya. Onhu atem didi ayin bia o. Mama ama to no bagawaya. You no go give them cry. Obechi chimu nyina gum. Tuma obechi chimu nyina gum. Mani nkodu 4 years no obechi chi obi agum. Na Akufo-Addo ana no aye hi. Okochi obi ankebe yasem. If one cast some demonstration, yeah, man, go for you, I'm going on the Akufo-Addo. Mom to 2 2 man, Akufo-Addo say, yeah, wako. But that is on the freedom of expression issue. And we'll come back to the Galamsey issues. Me say the CJ kind. I agree with the CJ. Say Galamsey is west. Galamsey no, I am west now. And you did this CJ attempt no amount of insult to change the fact that Galamsey, I hear west now. I hear west now. But I'm called MPP for Akache Ubekaya. Now say your friends say be you. Baumia be apologize say at the end of the day I punchlines. Because Adutwum, he's not known for punchlines. Because in the race, the MPP race, and Kakwa nipa mienu Canada Japan Dr. Baumia. Omo no my front runners. Osha Dr. Adutwum ne Dr. Brian Champa so mu nyina no. Omo fighting, but omo fighting more for 2032, not for 2028. Baba Baumia ne Canada Japan, omo last year ni. Because Canada Japan, any Baumia said 2028, omo nya omo to me mabium. The Baumia to me mabium. Canada Japan to me mabium. Canada Japan even more so because ono when you Chamber Omia, it's a bedu 2028 no where 2032 70 something will be the age burial to me maybe. Anyone so not Adutwum. Any Dr. Brian Champ any new people on Beba no ma show they will eliminate you. They will eliminate you. No ma so promusika guo. Enti say oh na aye gidigide no. Dr. Adutwum say no de no bajim. Or de no bajim. I know punch ba Omia say na no na ba Omia be pa. You see now say last be near kind ha say Baumia must do a full-blown apology. Emma Dr. Kokofukra Bekan say yes. I was so more apologizing. Send maybe Ankoye. Now until they admit, send maybe Ankoye no. And you say, now the man they may catch him say, sir, apology. They must start from within MPP. I don't want to talk about me. It must start within MPP constituency, police station, executives. One more apologize for inside. I did it. Omo amatete omo no omo amuka omo she afoko kwabne Japan no ne kwabne Japan boss or their check but you must apologize to him and he hopes the money are there you must apologize to them all those people enya abonte keke charity begins and one year of fear about abonte and obeka bia manu see and Adutwum punch ba omia no enti what ba omia said we the MPP as a party made a lot of mistakes in our governance. I'm begging you Ghanaians to forgive us. We are sincerely sorry. Apologize to MPP for the first before you come to Ghanaians. Yeah, no new contract there. Contract no only if one war. Start to first and sign our babonting. Now, but Omiaka asem no ye cry. Oh, no, Adutwum must start it. Or see if you want to apologize for your economic mess, go straight to the point and stop beating about the bush. Dr. Adutwum is not known for that. No, so Omatron who that 7 cents, the 14 cents of Dr. Adutwum, they are man style BAB. The one that Dr. Adutwum cast on also there. Any apology. Dr. Baumia mismanaged the economy. Look at this one. Say, I fixed education. You broke the economy. Punchlines. Now people say, ah, I'm going to bury 2028. No. You are exposing yourselves. You are exposing yourself. Say, yeah, I'm going to start with system straight to opposition 2028. Because I won't send this year mistakes. You say the omuchichin crop when you are there. Say, who's end this year bonnet cry, goodwill no ye ve. Omukuta goodwill no ve. Into a moya bonnet cry, Ghana for margarine coho. And then I know Monday that Dr. Kokofu Beka send this if 6 billion. I will go this ticket moment. They are sure to be ante and confront goodwill no ho. Share a year. A diplomatic passport to Amuso Majama or the Mayane, and it is Kene, Dentane, a Rocky Dawuni, and before and come on the Ama and Mongofo. Because another by office of the president, diaspora relations, soon as another no offer at your friend Bediaco on an A in charge. And this is work of our Belku Santana and Ikeo denominade. And it is a man who did did your membership behind the closed doors. No, I did it. No, I did it. I'm a man in Benin. That's the difference between NDC and NPP. NPP don't money pakwana beja can't so no adi all my boys now up from nibi now ko edide jomo say your campaign you must attract the 2 million votes 2 million votes na mo beje no and ayi first Dr. Adutwum ka say na on fire yimra no but Dr. Adutwum so apparently sika bebre to fan nsem enti many Dr. Adutwum I mean trade on dangerous grounds anyama bi on ma akotwetwe ba no akwa fast because no so na no ansi kra and Dr. Baumia camp ni bi me we me hu so hopes na aposti hopes in an post is idea way. Now, a cover by not say that be my train, my fast idea no to or also say there's 7 cents of a year first saying Adutwum. No, not to the not to Dr. Adutwum, my education contract. Education contract, yeah, mammy reading Chamo. Education contract as Sikano, Besine, ye who baby as Sikano walk. Etina make us a Dr. Adutwum, nim the Ayamanoa, and Tokobi one of my Dr. Adutwum, a gentleman. And confess and to one man because some do get a sima 1 year was a beshi. Almost inflated free SHS enrollment figures from 3.5 or say Nipa 5.7 or much or procurement beneficiaries in tea and Oyenisa. Almost 57 million to busy internet despite no work done. Said can almost Uncle Jimbra. Almost on masterminded the removal of Professor Opokwa Mankwa said your body in Nipa Besha Honum and also Uncle Kanwasem. And hey, boy, patron de menka because be almost and now pema patron money the munina mu pedinti and it cannot be the sense of a ye. Almost sidelined and undermined Napo when Napo was his boss. And I say attempted to award his girlfriend. I don't know about that. I say man the munina mu pedi some of the evidence about supplied Ghanaian students with expired rice. And after it's almost a diverted sika. Why that diverted 2.5 million meant for Gallup project, set up a self-placement teaching slot at the ma and call for Dr. Adutwum to the end. Dr. Adutwum say, and call her, I grow you on ma, ye need because as about me, I can't put us on the respond here. Why we with three sound a dumana mo ye befnomo, a dumano a befnomo because I don't know Munyamo targeted Dr. Baumia, and I don't know what you want. Dr. Baumia was recently just your candidate, the presidential candidate. To Munyamo too many see Dr. Baumia so. Just say, so we need, can you come back from this? Who attacking me too much? Can you come back from this? If you say that to fix education, I don't think education was 100%. When we are not NDC4 will tell you that education was 100% fixed. A yellow track, any green track, NBC was very, very eloquent about it. And yeah, I did good. Me back where you mampoma. You didn't free Ghana by America because of our double tracking. Yeah, they're quite few because they want a term. Not English teacher. Where get you? And your school fear you. Where get not teacher anymore? Near the best call. And our best call abroachry. Ain't it, Dr. Adutwum? Men koka and tokwa won't to mean pata. And kokan tokwa won't to mean pata. This targeting of Baomiano, Obianya the campaign decent because I know Dr. Baine Champo saying about me for Caprama. No, I bet Kennedy Japan to say Dr. Baumia find S if it took a Mahama. Kennedy Japan, the anybody is not, it wasn't an attack on Baumia. I think it was a fair say find X, say take him Bahama 8 years and say to me making this amount of voter. And then now 4 years, okay, so bet me na. But so be I do any said or something at the Baomiano. Why am because all this research now, 2 people are leading. Me who research every University of Ghana. Dr. Baomiani Kennedy Japan. It appears Dr. Baomiani advantage. Dr. Baomiani because one marketing who that need to know. Or advantage among the delegates, Kennedy Japan fan base here more of street boys. I'm not believing it too. But you must win the candidature with the delegates first and sign away by bunting. Enti mo money decent among yourselves. Na punchlines ya mo to money mo hono. Enkosiaga. Because Baomia chop pay your bema e wambo bi edi. He didn't throw shots at anybody. But even national executives ni cry yemu bi akache Dr. Baomia say look, the national executive failed woefully. Get rid of them. Dr. Baomia has not once even thrown the national executives under the bus. Or making chair as leader no, he is taking responsibility. Say me and I'm a leader. Me pamocho. Wa marketing no kakra. And that is the mark of a leader. Sen ko beka so we national executives no. Muna mama ye ko opposition, muna mu good party no. O si there be me gina anim me party wa mamo. Edi I think mu amaka no. Se mu take an attack se mu de baba omia so a. Mo na mbaye mu di mu dokro kwa because ni nyina it will just send you people straight into opposition. Straight mu be ko fia ko do opposition. Straight into opposition mu ni ma me kan kire mo. Straight into because then mo crop for you catch am TikTok for any as chichi omu. Mu ni chance bia. Mo MPP for so na no Dr. Kokofo so aba beka. Mo no ma same relationship with the academia. Can I catch for na never university Dr. Jampo mo ni ade na mo ka bi mam no. You've lost all of them. Say aka Dr. Zato. Dr. Oh chete Dr. Zato pen on cat obia nka bi mamo. Abroni be ye ni adidija. Me kwa na no Kofitonto si an what they saying. These are fake neutrals. They are paid neutral. I don't know who MPP they only paid neutrals maybe. Say Professor Jampo no me ade nyina paid neutrals. More MPP mo paid neutrals way. Go and pay some. If it is easy to pay neutrals to become neutrals, more MPP go and also pay some. Go and pay some people. When you homework here, and send a makwa abonte. So man you homework here. There is no amount of attack on each other. In fact, attack ya mo dey attack mo hono kra na ebe mama ko opposition tem. Ye tu mo fu amuntie because you see me menye di mbone MPP voice omo dwane me come ma se me fire omo dodo. I need to the other day na bobo omo kra de omo mpamani ma hwe kra. But sometimes I will see a kind of correction so that you correct it in na ochena na wa benefit. Ekufo adokoye start you see efia kwantay. Yeah, can mu di ma unko Facebook mu di ma tembe 800 and something comment no more di ma tembe boys and friends see if you mu di what mom say mu read ma me na say me dey minya kwa read mu read ma me. So what you say? And so there's those things that can na mu lose here. What's the raging? Yeah, nye kwan ni nwe ye also koye start we si wo. Eto de bia we are the only people ye betimi aka no kre na kire mo. Fu so just to mu di mo chu na mu nka no kre nkire mo da. Ye abronye na go be chama kano kra ni chance abronye fire na mom jaya atem didie no jai personal attack no kano kra che ni panda bi wo ba be di atem mo be ko opposition aduma ne de aban no 2028 nka aben amamo mahama so onko de ese dun kete ayesesi kra che sa ho kira ba hwe rasmu brak mini abema rasmu brak ka fire ese dun kete ase ohunu bi da say in NDC ohunu bi do say NDC Yetumika say a friend saying party nka presidential candidate and enke ko thank you to where they say don't get on the national chairman because they say don't get up a president dio obi anim they say don't get up so we are start against Eriko Poku against Julius Zebra they say don't get am kwase me ko thank you to why na asuma they say don't get am why na asuma who has sent you but also ko thank you to because of so we are start and no Rasmu Bra to throw to Facebook say no. It is a bad precedent. If you don't get your person or setting. Say, we are small. We are not executive. It's not that you are doing it in collaboration with the president. It's the pan our koto who no just you don't get there. What for presidential race in the World Cup? Into all openly no engine to muso or contest you. But on no thank you to. Ninja a camouflage campaign and they say don't get here no camouflage. Nana Rasmu Bra canon. And it can be before Mahama so on 2028 nka. I can't say don't get here. Eriko Poku Julius Zebra. Eti kamu the solid team ba and ka be amamo. Half of the work is done. Eti na Bawumia advantage because Bawumia wa marketing on kakra do. Eti kaka kredi amo de beso na Canada Japan kana say aka find S. S only 2 million. It's very easy to get the 2 million to the post. It's very easy. These are your own people. Muye moduma ye na mo kasa debi chira mo. Kasa attack mama, you can get the 2 million to the vote and you can get extra. But mo amu didi mo want them say. Now we have to be a man. No, we have to be a man. Go straight to the point and stop beating about the bush. We say I fix economy, you broke the I fix education, you broke the economy. Now NDC, but NDC is more failing. NDC about me the 175 question by any baller questions here. A better than award you to. If you yourself are your MPP presidential candidate, no, who catch your presidential you say breaking economy. Na say NDC, but NDC be catch them say. Baumia 171 75 questions in there baller questions. Baumia to me anya hute. Or yeah, Mr. No nothing. Or yeah, Mr. Brofunkwan, I'm economic jargon to crowd to onim here. Na Mahama Konya campaign platforms on fireman. Why then you attack Mahama? Because they are more canon or canon. He's just quoting you people. Munya careful. I believe say Bojidi. Bojidi cry about it. Munsha Ponkumela, Munya careful. Munya careful. Mugu adiano. And finally, remember a chairman, DC chairman, you're right, Janice, as I be there, but I'm sure the president, my Makano, was it freedom of the press, a sacrosanct. And Timothy Amontana, Namungunu, because my ama say 24-hour economy, no, only the good from there, just a give, more. So only the good from Tina make catches a medium fishes, our gold refinery, Munkosino, region, so no eastern region, western region. Ashanti region, Mufanko baby a two gold, you know. Mu to me created 1,000 jobs. Accra obey Accra 121 to be a Mokonya Bena. Mu we MPP. Eti mu MPP de munye busy na mundi di mu watem. Mu beba no na NDC ahuriko. Mu beba no na NDC wahuriko. What you say? Mu koso na mundi atem. Mama fanko pese mama I'll be back. And this is President Mama call meeting the asa. And I know what he terms as a media no press no. And a bit me a boying. Now say I need press na juma year. I don't know why the video is not playing, President Mama. Video idiot. Okay. Let me see again. Well, the video is not playing. There must be something. Okay, I'll fix it and get back to you. But that was what the President Mama was trying to say. Mama fa chairman in room. Na yan hwani nyina ba Umia company ade adwuma omo beye na omo de abocha mama good evening ni akwaba
ye we fi am chair we tie fo na but am menka
ya meto nka pa am say na ukọ baby nti no
good but so that na go don tie do pa we yin tie we do say me support you
me that's it what yeah that's so because I know you're a very busy person but good jai o enya adaje mayen. Mama, just a quick one on the Galamsey NDC MPP because I say Dr. Adutwum at my mobile Umia camp for no power. But on this Galamsey, when CJ Kasaya West, do you agree?
Oh yes, I agree. But I fear my member quite so emphasize the tribune to all. Not that a phone na you because Galamsey, find at the bag Ghana. What I say? There is a misconception, say Galamsey, any small scale mining.
They're different.
They're very different. The entire friend Gold Coast can be in Ghana was because of sending a small scale mining in a responsible manner, right? And then they friend Gold Coast. And before some small sand winning, no more.
Hello, Chairman. Chairman, in a freezy. Chairman, I'm consulting.
Hello, Chairman.
Fedi Asan.
My mom some history. So the difference between Galamsey and small scale mining, no. So Ghana, you take a friend Gold Coast, no, was the fact say they yet to me yes or some sand winning no the river body's new. But now it's an issue. What I say, it's something has been with that for a very long time. Okay. But the banner Galamsey who ya essentially for us, the banner by in the moment the history. Okay. So I say we are in name. And PNDC through NDC Galamsey by Ghana. And I'll tell you why. It doesn't have to make
Aye, just a President Rollins a break to time. I know.
Exactly. Yes. And my mother didn't say about it because that's something that Ghanaians need to know the truth. What I say, because if you don't know the truth, you cannot really solve the problem. Hey, so Ubekaya, right? 2004. Ubekaya, remember some history. This year, some minor readjustments. I'm not part of the company, right? I'm part of more assets. Okay. It led to some really some people who don't see your Medjuma. That was the first time. And in 2014, right? That's the biggest one. 2014. So we had the same thing. I think that was 2014.
I think that was 25% of your shares near Ton. Your
shares. And this is I'm coming to the point. The firm you see your Medjuma, we had almost about 5,000 people lay off during that time. Okay, about 5,000 people lost their job. Most of these people they were not very, very high level of you. Most of the junior year, underground, some of these small scale they all lost their job. Like I said, when we did that redeployment, ADC sold their shares. They want another statistic. So okay, 2014 now, right? 2014, the same year now, right? Our amount of trees that we lost in terms of about kilo hectares, right? In 2014 was almost about 108,000 hectares. I didn't think America, sir. Because that is the only skill they knew, right? And so they all find themselves in the areas of the country where they could still make ends because of
the former workers
exactly. That was when Galamsey started because they had to find a livelihood. And if you look at when we started losing our tree reserves, when we started losing this Galamsey becoming a menace. After that, Professor Mills Bayer, you said that was the time that this thing became a menace in Ghana. And to me, there is no history who brought Galamsey to Ghana. There is no, it's NDC behind this. Like I said, there is nothing to even get about, but the history is there. The records are there. You can check when our water bodies began to become turbid. You can check when we began to lose our forest, and you will see it all tallies with this timeline of Mide Maui. What I say? Let's not go back to the history, right? Say it was in the NLC area. Now the question that I wanted you asked me about, say, is it increasing? Oh yes, it's increasing. So I will share the statistic, right? I always use amount of trees that are lost, even though the trees that are lost, it's not just about Galamsey, but you can also have development. But that serves as much of a much better statistic when you're looking at this Galamsey devastation, right? So I will share. I think that was in 2022 and 2024. That's where we had a peak. I think it was 2018. No, 20. That's where we had a peak, right? You see, apart from Kakra. But still, no, it's really, really high as to what you would like to see. Yes, the question maybe someone say, as a minor, as Ghana first, you know, the bad any society we are no.
Yeah, but more importantly, before you go to the bad any answer, which is the ultimate, but say the Chief Justice, acting Chief Justice can say a question. No, is it the politicization? Because Obiase or fight it, NDC can't so much buy or PNDC almost almost fight. In fact, President Mills Abreso, and Operation Vanguard, buy President Mills, we are President Mahama, also be 12 Operation Vanguard. In fact, you're at some support we or can't no di Operation Vanguard name. And no did Mama Major Mahama call a danger ya Okoye. So it was a Galamsey operation and no yo anti Galamsey. NPP for ban small scale mining, no baby license, which is not Galamsey. That is legal small scale mining. And no Galamsey home. But Obiaba also you're not still said CJ can west. Why is it becoming worse when your pompis can money gone down the drain? And what is the cost of the getting worse when we claim we are fighting it? Government and this MPP will be also fighting. Why is it getting worse?
Okay, if you have to answer me, okay, why is it getting worse? You see, the first thing is we have to be true to ourselves as a nation. President John Mahama, right, about the impact of our gold reserves as it relates to Galamsey. And the service abuse, you see, so when you have a president who gives such a response, it tells you that most of the rhetoric that you say, he doesn't really mean it. What I say, so that is one of the main reasons why we have not been able to solve this. And I know President Mahama I said, so share your friends the history of the association now we've been trying to say we are trying to solve this menace, but it's always getting worse. As a matter of fact, the only time who said there was some improvement was under Nanado. The back time Nanado may hold it for about a year and a half. That point got to know that was when we had any visible evidence that Galamsey was going down, because you could go to the water bodies and actually see it. But apart from that, no component, you had that positive impact, As I say, I think so the reason why we've not been able to solve it is because as a nation, as a people, we've not actually had people that have the willpower that want to solve it. Everybody just puts a lip service to it, but deep down we are all entrenched in doing this menace to our nation. Your school of mines, your tech, there are a lot of knowledgeable people that can solve Galamsey if we really mean to. But the question is, who are those complicit in it?
Okay.
That is the question that we need to ask. Because say I try to solve it, so having the baby shots here. It's my thing, say, unless we ourselves, we the politicians, the clergy, the social media commentators, our civil societies, so I deal with say, solve it, the politicians will never be solved. Because politicians, both MPP stuff and we are all complicit. It means and it's a MPP problem or NDC problem. But my biggest concern is if you have a president of a nation, and you're able to make this statement regarding Galamsey, knowing the impact on the people, that is what I find very disappointing.
Not just a president answer, the own is only commitment out of the source of the
only commitment of source of Galamsey. Only commitment, because you cannot say, sir, because the president priority is amassing gold. That's exactly what he said. That the heart of the people doesn't really matter. His priority is amassing gold. So you cannot tell me just commitment to solve Galamsey.
Okay.
What I say, if the president had commitment to solve Galamsey, I'll tell you what he would have done. Also, my committee said we've been trying to solve this. We've had committees upon committees, right? And we've had proposals. Even by proposing, there is nothing wrong from learning from the past. There's a lesson learned in there. It's a president person solve. First, you have to follow that. That includes all these people with a lesson learned with civil societies. But there's no one never class to say, I think was saying, say we got some amount of improvement, but still about back. And then that committee can come up with proposals. What I said, that shows the president is committed to solving this thing. How do you say about it? That's why when you any plan, I was your plan is say you're not going to film it. Who say okay? In terms of the president has got no commitment to solve this Galamsey menace. And it's really sad. It's really, really sad situation for Ghanaians. Say this is the president's focal point. When you have such a dire problem, that's going to impact us for generations to come.
Okay. Very well. Mami Fanko, one answer the ultimate question. No crash account. Mami Fanko, because era Adutwum so be point him say mo no buy omuya camp no mo share that ni bibia mo be bia. Mo break economy when he was busy fixing education. Mo na mo break it. This is from your own camp. And we are looking at next year primaries. But we bubu my pray. What do you make of that statement no?
Dr. Adutwum, what he said. Honestly, from where I stand, I think I found it unfortunate about the statement that he said. And there's a reason why one said, first, you have to take it from the question that was asked.
Okay.
But I said, there's nothing wrong with Dr. Adutwum proposing that again, saying I'm here. There's nothing wrong with that. But the question that was asked pertained to why the president went ahead and issued an apology. MPP, there were some good things that we did, right? But Ghana for say, so the overall judgment was that we didn't do our best. Until we failed. That is the overall judgment. You cannot mince words. But so the president or the former vice president went around accepting, said this is what we did. It's a good thing. It is a people say part of the I think 2 years ago, so I say
Okay.
We failed. We cannot run away from it. So the question is asked to you, say, was it justified? I think it was justified. If the question was asked, say, okay, yes, but then I'm even though in the whole country, maybe we failed, but we did some good things. Then you can go ahead and just go ahead and espouse what you did. Because after all, you sort of vying for the presidency or the flag of our party. So there's nothing wrong with espousing his achievement. But in the context of the question that was asked, I thought that was very unfortunate to come from Dr. Adutwum. Let me say, so maybe he was overwhelmed, with the time or maybe the exposure. But I don't really agree with Dr. Adutwum at all. I think, say, he could have handled the question better. And it's an unfortunate statement.
Yeah, but we also apology. No, I say, I was apologizing for failing to fix the economy, no, because but when he says that you broke the economy, what do you say about that?
Honestly, when you broke the economy, I mean, I've seen it on social media, but when I listen to Dr. Adutwum's speech, man, you have seen the people have been targeted.
Okay.
Economy, not because I'm video. But let me comment on what Dr. Baumia said. What I say. To me, tell Dr. Baumia apology, right? Dr. Baumia didn't single out what we did wrong. So I can say, okay, now I see a pump finance minister and the permanent me patch up, me patch out. Now, did you go for bonds? Yeah, me patch about it. What he said was, when you including our points, are responsive. What I say, more else, your friends, your fire phone, I am for. Policy said, and they can afford that. It's a betting tax like a baby and if you say it's good in principle, but it wasn't the right time. I said, but it's a patch for BB. Oh, they want to be patch. You cannot really blame the man starting to want to care about the economy. I don't know how I say, they buy me break. No, the man applied for everything, including the economy. I don't really see anything wrong with how the approach that Dr. Baumia took. All they do was me after the same approach. Wasn't the name of a brain in a year? And let's not forget that he was the former vice president. He was our candidate. And then he was as president. So he bears the responsibility of the things that went wrong. And for us to go about and apologize for the things that we did wrong, there's nothing wrong with that. But there's nothing wrong, sir. Because okay, so free man. Assuming say Dr. Belano I'm apologizing for the appointees from now on. And if you economy from a say, hey, and I'll go kind of one about the economy. So the man went about apologizing for everything, putting everything in together. I think that was the best thing to do, Samia.
Okay. But in terms of campaigning generally, do you feel more feelings and comfort attack mana? Do I say any no about me and campaign so far? What is it?
I said, what brand name Dr. Baumia?
Current executive. Okay, well,
exactly. I mean, I said, one thing I always say is, let's be objective. Let's be objective in our analysis. What they are saying, we are leaders of the party. We don't take sides. As a matter of fact, in the NPP USA, one of the things is that and we don't support any candidate. I don't choose a candidate who can be one say, Papa, we cannot even try drink. But that doesn't mean, sir, we are in support of candidate A or candidate B. So we can last say, you're about winning on January 31st, you never tie it. What I say, you never time, but a candidate because customer to head the party overall. Yeah, yes, you are at liberty to go ahead and talk about it. And if I say, me looking at Dr. Baumia and people, other candidates coming after him, normal. I think what is happening is people see that he's the apparent leader in terms of the polls. So but this is all the polls now. But I just say he's in the lead. And why the lead? People are going to chip against that lead. I wish they had used better means to chip against that lead. But how it's going is not good for the party. There should be a way that we have to communicate as a party. You're never be a kind of obey them. And you're never be and that is what I wish we would respect as a party. That's what I wish our leaders would respect. The flag is not open. I wish they could take the same approach. Because what was saying, at the end of the day, if I'm going to be a flag bearer, now we have to go back and clean your words. We have to go back and try to justify with NDC, and that's where there's going to be a problem. Until many of the America said they should tone down. Yes, everybody wants to be a flag bearer. All of them they have good policies. Go ahead and market your good policies. All of them are strong in different ways. The other time, I say, you want to single out somebody as a means to be able to get to where you want to get to. I don't think that's the right approach.
Okay, but Obi Busa question is why now? That has been almost 9 months. I didn't offend about me about Pato. Why not in the beginning? Why now?
It's always better late than never. What I say? Yeah, elections. We all saw what happened, right? We could have, as a party, we could have decided to say, even Dr. Babak said he wouldn't concede. But he conceded very early. Even when the EC didn't even come out. Also, the folks say, why did you concede? What you say? Me, I think, sir, sometimes when you go through an election and you lose, you have to have a period where you do an inside inspection of yourself. What are some of the reasons why I lost? Because you're going election, we felt we were the best choice for Ghanaians. What you say? But Uncle Bassa, Ghanaians were not the best choice. So we have to sit down and say, okay, then the best choice for Ghanaians. Now we've sat down, we've had our internal discussions, we did our okay committee. You must have okay. When Uncle Ye. Just a young from Swan, nothing about the Ghana for saying a year and Mount my chair, Pamacho. They're sorry about that is not the right thing to do. You have to know what we did wrong, then we can apologize for that. So I think, sir, 8 months, 9 months is very irrelevant to the time period. What is important is admitting that we did wrong as a party, admit that we've learned from our mistakes, and then moving forward on it. That's what is more important. But the timeline for me is irrelative.
But so far, more campaign is because now Dr. Barnett will be punching and just like generally, common national executives. It's more said I'm a candidate because of the can't be chair about me, and they say Adutwum so I can be you. Candidate Japan, so the only one carry on the equation at all to find X. Because I say on all will be antrigani beam. So do you think moment I'm quite to maybe to clean up because I don't know I didn't say for baby almost so say clean campaign because at least if I start your doctor I say don't get I thank you to a campaign be an no. What the kind of that? It is a moment who can't quite let's say don't get your dada. So what do you make of how I'm organizing against the NDC for and underground no?
Okay, if you're my MBC, the perception is the candidates or the current executive support one, your friend is saying candidate is very wrong. Okay? And let me tell you why. One of the reasons in TIA, you flat bill on January 31st, right? Is because of this. Because once you have a leader now, people are going to coalesce around the leader, whoever the leader becomes. And you have 3 solid years to be able to market that leader. So even for the executives to come up with this brilliant idea tells you they're not thinking about one candidate. What you say? And you mentioned about the CEO don't get just starting the campaign or whether you zebra. For me, that is irrelevant. 2 years from now, Ghanaians are going to look at the record of this NDC compared to what we did as a party. Ghanaians are going to look at why could we have been if MPP had continued compared to NDC's achievements. That is what is going to decide who's going to win the next election. What you say? It's not about the candidate they are going to bring. It's about what Ghanaians are going to compare. Ghanaians will have a very comparable to say, okay, MPP for us, not cocoa for the price by this amount. They got thousands in increase. And it's about how many hundreds. What you say? MPP was okay. Now see the new over this rate. They say this is for about 2 years now. Look at where the CD rate is. Those are the comparative that they're going to make. MPP was they were able to commission 80 STEM schools in 1 day. And it's for about how many schools have they built? Okay, so those are the things that we're going to look about press freedom. MPP was the press was very free. And I think that I see remand. Those are the things that Ghanaians are going to look at. So I'm not worried about who's going to be the candidate. Whoever they want to bring, at the end of the day, it's going to boil down to MPP policies versus NDC policies and what the impact on the Ghanaian is. And that's what we're always looking out for.
Well, Chairman, Mamina say any they all come, but so far they say 9 months of Mohammed's government. I don't think anything to go assessing that. Obama is saying.
If you have assessing, bias. So, what can latest Emmanuel reporter? Imagine if was I'm good rule. I can say Bano. Good rule in the because of what they've been doing. This is the current mining report. They say the Ghanaians are losing trust very quickly with the NDC. But what is it? Let me cry in America. That is the perception out there. That is what is happening. Me who say 9 months. I always want to point to the facts. 9 months. Cocoa for what I said. Did they get their increase? 9 months. Can you tell me the 4 prices have come down? 9 months. Can you tell me the consumer goods the prices have come down? This is the reality of the day. 9 months, what have you done in our education system? Those are the questions that Ghanaians are asking themselves. And if you can say anything positive about these things I've said, then they are doing good. But all these things that examples have given you showing say the next is retrogression. There is no positive statistic. The only positive statistic was when the city was going down because of the good policies that we had implemented. The moment 9 months and you almost buying. After the Mahama, oh, now we had to, the Bank of Ghana had to come and regulate. But as I said, they didn't say anything. They said it's a achievement. When they they face the reality, now they're putting back to the Bank of Ghana. So 9 months, media me who need anything positive that the Mahama government has done within 9 months that I can point to the fact say there's been anything positive. But I said it's not even about me, but the people say I'm biased. It's about the Ghanaian people. Mama na otili come auto on document work from. Me will say Kube, go to Kube or Ghana 7 cities. Me back Ghana, na me work Ghana December year, na Kube 45 cities. And now me say 7 cities. These are the realities. It is not about what Chairman Dennis feels, it's about the reality the Ghanaian is feeling. That is all that I can speak to it. It's a kind of when people say they will tell you themselves.
Yo, Chairman, Mamina was pa. Chairman, I MPP Chairman DC Metro. Chairman Janice Asaribedi Akoni and and common MPP Chairman. No, I think he's going again. And our Chairman, I confirm it's Obekwan. And let me tell you, I'm comfortable. I've been and I DC now.
If you still make us say a party, no, you're running and you might be brave. January 31st, I mean, Duma, you be a flag bearer. Right, that is the focus of the party. See now, okay, the leader of the party, a lot of things are going to fall in place. The real national executives know the timelines, remember, as to when we can have our polling station, constituency, regional, and national executives.
Hello, Chairman. Chairman, article. No,
say, also your timelines as a party. Say the focus is to elect a flag bearer. I'll make me keep the NDC in check, form a shadow government so that we can keep the NDC in check. You never realize the timelines never out. It's a time banner, you may hear polling stations, regionals, national executives. That's a full semi full. So I need to step up. Yeah, now that point we'll have that discussion. But for now, my focus is for the flag bearership race. My focus is to keep, the DC very active, the MPP very active in the DC region. And if you don't know, so what we'll go for pictures now. Mama for that kind of us, you watch the DC Metro. I'm about my picture here, camera. And that is what we want to do. We want to be able to strengthen the party in the DC Metro areas so that next time that we get to the elections, so they can also have an impact in the elections in Ghana.
Okay. Mami, no, as a chairman. Chairman Janice Asaribedi Akoni, so almost they say the diaspora for no today they've been giving more power. That's why now we are a very big force to reckon with. Chairman, Mami, no, I say. Yo. Also advise MPP for no more contact opposition in the street, but more united. Mami call her Kwame question because no as an outsider sitting there and watching you people no saying no but
what mean there?
Me chonka perfectly. What yanka? Okay, cancel yanka. I'm checking the phone because yeah chonka perfectly pa. Mami reading more comment nibi and I will say omo there confirm mo cast about President Kufuor on patron he gave Ghanaians child free education, elevated the education system, constructed more infrastructure projects than anybody. Into more expecting is on patron for what? And so what's an another patron there on patron. Yeah, I'll say MPP you stole from Ghana and destroyed the economy. You couldn't build a single regional hospital, no universities, and they are very corrupt. You have the audacity to apologize. Patrodi Atemoa, I will not read your message again. Be a decent. Oh, yeah, cratch it. Yeah, wo men kasa adwini bi ani utrim just atebdidi nko make your comment fine. What the insult is also say Benjamin Sebaumia is a fine gentleman loaded with ideas. In fact, I fear that he may lose on 31st January, but it is a lose to not only comment on there, but we are Canadian profession. So Eunice, or say era Janice Asaribedi Akoni person here incoming MPP chairman. James era Asaribedi Akoni the chairman actual conduct. Emmanuel and Pierre as a politicians must learn a lesson in opposition, but they forget preceding mistakes now. Omumeki, you know. Well, Mama, good evening. Where do my microphone? So, mommy, fantastic. But what's on where there?
Unfortunately, sound and I'm but
me our volume because your tone can perfect. Your tone can loud and clear.
Not at all. Some more time in Candia, maybe sound back.
Your tone can perfect. Your tone can. But one I want to and can do the question.
Okay, and the
Do
roll over
phone
na mommy 1 minute na me
Yes.
say make me ne technical way na fix it backstage.
O person adumu phone no restart it. Sometimes it to me yes sir. It is a question no me come messaging be Ampia Emmanuel Ampia say okay Emmanuel Makan message Eric Kwame Duku say now the criminals have forgotten the doomso and now Galamsey the MPP what a shame from Obrimpon Germany in the message no and also Edibaye no men call you men be a criminal when the person has not been convicted. The only person you born didn't say criminal you'll be a convicted in court. Sometimes you see a bro for me be I amount to my Stephen to pause only Canada Japan can resurrect and bring MPP back to power. What can I say when you be at them? No bad language. Swati I say yes you. Aha. Nana Shadmos. Nana I say Nana will not apologize. Okay, Nana Shadmos. I think maybe we do message earlier on when you were saying say Nana the moment require an impact on china. Jata. I don't say if you did they say don't tell you he wants to be president? Over 20 years. Can you say don't get start you? Okay, as a presidential and be starting and no abodings of a president. Nah, that's not why they do it. They do soliciting on the ground as I know about Becca. One any word you might I'll forgive you because it's not your job. Yeah, no, so we can understand what is going on. Makacho say say don't get my boy Rikopokudin, my boy Era Julius Zebreding. These are all people. How these are all people who are likely to succeed President Mahama. Now, fiti prekope me po mo sen. Obey your groundwork and son. In fact, if you don't get your flyers about in Tamale, how they do to flyers about in Tamale, ukazo mudi agro. To boni enche wa jumani en sorry keke. If you want ya kotu. Your friends say makele bossy. Any SMP before so omo ba apologize. Any omo apologizing for communicators like who to communicate ya monom. No more they are not helping them cry. Them did you know a dozen. Clifford say Dr. Adutwum is a way in a way no one watch why he's not a leader of MPP and he cannot lead MPP because as Minister of Education Pasha Sama Abekan oh yeah perfect I na wo to money ba omia no nti ba na oh yeah perfect ana enti minister no wan ka say or the Adutwum no Suleiman and Awal or see we will never forgive MPP if they fail to win a 2028 because we dey nka bia momo a enka also mutumi e win but omo anyo omo adwuma ye na to omo ntimi e win dia yen party for no we will never forgive them. Also, Nidia or they Abba and no. Smiley saying, if you ask why now, because Canada Japan did that, and now Christopher New York, no Christopher Mibusa question, you say it's better late than ever. And he said, Baumia so be apologizing now, doesn't matter the timing. Tem bia Baumia be apologizing, but almost apologize. Stephen Tufono say, Dr. Baumia is not a true politician. Dr. Baumia is an economist. So he doesn't know how to talk as a politician. And a politician and can maybe one man and Kenya dia obabeka. Iman also no cast say politicians don't say this or must starting them that MPP. Modi amount na way na mundi din crofwatem. Sir Frederick was him lady. Can you ask him why if he has remembered say Baumia catch them Mahama say the country is not for remedial classes no be matra makwe. Afi de ono ate say no why remedials na fe no wabeji ana. Osi emusa Baumia to man. Doctor I love question that ma akwa babio.
Yeah, me da say media. Why fresh get US burger.
When that's it. And then me busa say sitting on the outside o share MPP for you or more to money or more ya. What do you say?
Oh, so that is the system ya inherited ewo. Every season be a ka sa. I mean, it's a normal thing in our country these days, isn't it? And they all understand each other too. This is the season, and there's nothing they can do about it.
But I know you to the first to Dr. Brian Champon to my Dr. Baumia say. Eastern region one factor press and poama on one tua bidia. Ena Adutwum so the ama Baumia say we break the economy when he was fixing education. Unja is on and more pattern. And yet chop and on patch for breaking the economy.
And then also mostly I come with topical statement. Unyanya foundation no they fall in their perspective. Also me didn't say a better system every now and then, even at the national level, no. You won't say Baumia Toma JM so Toma Baumia. Nanado Toma JM we sana be in our part of the world. Maybe be a yes America for ya. because America for us almost start here almost primary sir. Almost to tomo almost rough sir. Edu national no so almost to try more sir. And you see almost call by no. Somebody will go and say something somewhere. And now almost supporters in the can baby. And the Nippon no senior opportunity we mean to order that. And then they may want to come and clear the air or correct one or few things. In attempt of doing that, and baby sir. But who would have wished to say, in the interest of the collective good of the MPP as a party, internally, because of what happened in 2024 elections, almost slow down in some of this give and take, because at the end of the day, whoever emerges the winnable candidate now, you will still need the other people also to come and support you, because Obia will put up for election, primary election, but how Miss Weya there, Obenya Abedichifo, Biabako and Amienubi, and those 2 votes, no Wunya Kawo de Anuha and Kanoso Babua. It been a year to me, unresolved in the year, and I went to me unresolved the year. Alan Tremantin, Ebufobaya, or train one supporters in also Edinechi, all corners on all the vote in a coy. And we appeal to them, say, once we are also citizens, and then whoever becomes a winner, no Ghana, no Babasha, we also have a stake in it, and we appeal to them, say, Omoma, Omo primaries, any heavy, now Omundrin, the main battle now at that when rather than focusing on the primaries. This if we are there, will be a contribute to or more contesting in Obia contribute. Even Dr. Baumian Krano almost say on your true MPP member, also I contribute the little he can also in developing MPP as a party, and then also in developing Ghana as a country. And nipa de to me obi in Sinchen in Kase, because you see I want our person flag bearer and obi any contribution on fan tunchen. Yeah, sure contribution there. Ebi gangan to amo. Ebi chimbi. But you see, that is where the temptation is. And I also know trade here. Now what trade cautiously. Now I'm say supporters, ebe feel say sometimes maybe also try to show off what me I say along the line. And that is where one office last year, and I will show Obusobeka so last 2 years now are more powerful. Last 5 years, when we were you two, where were you? 1992, when we were looking for the men. Where were you? There's small boys anyway in Asifo. And they should be measured. They should be measured in some of the things they say around this time in the collective interest and good of MPP as a party, and then Ghana as a country who wish to say, now I'm focusing more on what they are capable of doing, because it's an internal party elections, they should focus on what they will do to build the MPP as a party, to bring everybody on board first, and then also what he or she he is also trying to bring on board when they emerge eventually as the flag bearer of the party in the name of Ghana, and that is where the focus should be, because
about Baumia Chopa say timing is that in order or patch for some more lose election.
As if you will show you so in most of the we Ghanaians thought to say why a mistake and come patch on one patch out what me I say, especially this currency at the dollar rate, wow, exchange rate, obey expose you, who ya them cry, obey expose you. Who were thinking, say, do so now went to me, and so now exchange rate, expose, you could have done something about it. And in the build up to 2024 elections, Omu Yusu ni mistakes baby against him. And it can be affecting the fortunes in the general elections. That was when Nanka Yefi said a chapa bi or it could have come. And now to say immediately after the elections, I'll be considered and then some few months thereafter. But not when wako contest just to get some sympathy, whatever. I think the timing is wrong in a way. Oma take stock, Oma set up committees in a way near the. Into a chopper being near the but it should come from the national party and not from individuals. That is my viewpoint at this point in time.
Very well. I think it's not a bad idea, Biasa. But do you see almost chances against NDC? Because I'm person Busa NDC and Sana Mama Kennedy Japan for. In fact, you are Dr. Jemfiji Abosu or Honomono or a campaign manager for Dr. Adutwum. But what to say? Don't get so thank you to I'm a Rasmuber Akwaba because hey, Monsanto bad president be I in Rube or come for what? Any other but for market time for presidential because of so we are start before Julius because when him say Julius a favorite. But I hear Mr. who research be post be from University of Ghana. They say don't get popularity was stretching all the people who are likely to succeed Mahama.
And maybe we may also be deceiving ourselves from that angle because Wosha, yes, if you be a mention because and MPP form kwan ejano edariomo. Uba NDC swa. Isi ano say floodgate no ye emwe high because JM Ankasaba public say there's no way your constitution obesity asset. Now we're proposing for any third term, which means we in 4 years now. Akunyana betwamo almost say omo But unlike the MPP now, for some years now, at least Omwenyan Crawford to go into contest primary several times, all the way from President Kwame time, 2017 now, Mako 17, Omoye 18 now, Mr. Father every draw and Rebecca 17, the almighty 17. Wait, into Bible, I'm marketing from that time. What do I say? And even the recent times, last week, at least Honorable Kennedy Japan, Baumia, showdown era, at least always on one. And Osha, market more than whoever, whoever may want to put themselves up for the NDC category. Now, what was another case? Ebimu, blame Mr. Nkatia. Honestly, we say the establishment, a favor, chief of staff. It's a fear of the when you to form Usha programs, baby, say JM Cochrano, now chief of staff, and echo. Meanwhile, chief of staff, Nejumane dear. Office in Kwan, and now Bonjuma. But overhead and say conference center. And him find show. Ne way near dena. Chief of staff ne name. And I was general so there. Politics no why politics are check. Ewa maimu. Enti otenio mabia say. Enti them say the supporters no so catch and say Jack. Campaign na honorable Julius Zebra washa say no. Enti what na wa. Ube say wa conquer grounds ni na foul call. And it is in order. When politicians say, person shake you the time is not right. Coin anywhere to be there at all. Thank you, Tony. October. Yes, September now, October. Thank you. And your money here, thank you. I did December, Tono.
But I question, Osha, against 2028, we're telling get our chance. And I am trying is early days yet.
You see, Osha, all the candidates now from the NDC, Enka ordinarily from the word go no nka yebeka so no wenya force starting. What me I say because no with the NDC echiache from JJ Rawlings time all the way and no wabeye MP before and general so there uko NDC mu a omumfa ne ndi agro and from time immemorial position bia obe contest bia no I had to say they are showing gratitude to him. Nansen ya obeko chairmanship no na yenya yenim say Mr. Ampofo ehu be chere no because general manu mu so dia na about to say true father for within the NDC with the NDC in there he wouldn't have a problem but outside the NDC now outside the NDC now and some challenges may happen but politically no what the candidate be bana Mr. Asiedu in Katia, the person will have a very tall order to climb. But are they a bit favor Honorable Julius Zebra this time around? So then said he is a blessed son of the president of the day. And now almost no my appointment. So we share appointment, what you say, confusion between JM camp. And I see you doing Katia camp because our appointment, names and bimunya more appointment actually the other ones.
Yeah.
And that is where Honorable Joseph Asubenya clout nekakra. That is not to say these two are the only most qualified within the NDC. Only the young ones are more potent and all that. But Sisiano, because of how the NDC have organized themselves over the past few years, ebimo post, edidi, ebimo echi, for some time now. And in that pecking order, I would say, Honorable Asedun Ketia has some edge over Honorable Julius Debra. But Obia counts with the strength. The only danger, sometimes we had a situation like that when President Kufuor was about exiting the second term. Okonya, the blessed son, initially he wanted Dr. Yes, originally Dr. Endum. Originally Dr. Endum. Entina to date, Nanado on Peso Betty Dr. Endum needing or babyano. What me I said? Auntie Dr. Endum soon said a creative problems baby no. And not pay the baby define or the call CPP. And the president still wanted a successor. And then the call farmer Alan. Because Alan was a MPP person. Much as that time Sonasika was system no. Alan Nankasa was ska. President Kufona Dofone Adena Disika Betaechi. Chief of staff at the time, also Tire Alan Echi. All the establishment, Obia Tire Alan Echi. But you see, sometimes one managing a year within the party, every member found whole time. Yeah. And no marker say the president or the establishment is trying to impose a candidate on them. And also one way a bit to me working against Honorable Julius Zebra. And I'm sure I was also a calm person. Even though I was serving in several portfolios, but generally about the party structure and then as for Nadia. On your more and left, right, center, anyway near the end. And in that pecking order.
Combination way, Julius Zebra against Ken or against Baumia against Adutwum. What's your chances to say?
Hey, now when you candidate now, Ghana for more say Omo Peno.
I'm saying Julius Zebra against Baumia or Canada, Japan or Adutwum.
Aha, Uja Honorable Canada Japan woman. Nka ne supporters wo dia no. Hey, Auntie Pia, mama ya bias kakra o ho no. Hwe me. Say over the years ni nyina no. You advocate for change in Ghana here. Sisi an offer both NDC and MPP. What do you mean aboma? Auntie Fia me can you for now you pay pragmatic change in this country no. You pay obi obe na nyoma to say Burkina ni no. What me I say?
Okay.
Burkina ni no. Auntie me no na ka be stubborn cat. But you know, you Ghana no they've imposed NDC and MPP on us. The person must come from either MPP or NDC. In this case, me Kamianka yenda na yenso da say obia ni mistake bia yen forget it. NDC, MPP, we should all come together, rally behind Honorable Kennedy Japan. With all the syntony we ni adeno. Antifia kabebi or the Ghana be 2 speed akono. Woman 5 years. 5 years keke. Honorable Kenna na. I mean, because of politics, the guy is business oriented. You'll be amazed to say our more connections globally, especially all those Asian countries, China, India, California. The business people, Ken is well connected. Obi like that, Sanka, your man opportunity pa, near Burkina Faso, One would say if you travel around the country, move asase nyantan nego. These are the things Honorable Ken doesn't want to see. Ohu nyantan sana office obetumi aye farming. Ema youth na enye adwuma ye. Office obetumi aye factories. Ema youth na enye adwuma ye. Wotumi ase. Bofo kasa no ne degrees ne we ni ade no yedum pempenso a. Eka me nkwa nka yemfa nto nchen. This time around, we could get people who will focus on creating jobs for the youth. And if I don't know about you, by any would be on daily basis, and the Quran mania calls and text message by 10. Youth na a comedy
Yeah,
a comedy and there's nothing they can do about it now because job na wa himfa. Oh, and I'm paying for no social form. And one say I talk about NDC about MPP way back, sir. Where are the jobs? Where are the jobs? We'll build the roads, we'll build the hospitals and so on and so forth. But you as citizens of this country, what are the plans for them? You see,
Kennedy Japan was our vision until you prefer him.
Massa, and with the way I knew my air corner, people are forgetting about any mistakes in the Nasifoina. And Oman was no nonsense man. He is somebody I don't know bad. The MPP no can forget you or the Ghana to first. Are you getting my point? Now down for away NDC for now down for away MPP. Or forget you Biana when making sure say Ghana no ebe to say Burkina and all the other countries they are focused on development. Osha on one kasaba he had all the opportunities to become a minister of state. Or declining na. The only appointment and say was Ghana
Petroleum
Gas.
Commission. Board, no.
No, gas, na.
Ghana gas.
Yes, very good. And look at board chairman. And I look who will show down or the command workers in war. Or a board chairman, so come on, show down. And only the or a no nonsense man. I feel there comes a time. And if we are tired of this NDC, MPP, anyway, yeah. Oh, and some buga radical person be. Umbra no make changes system no completely. Then the pana on your post no crano, why factories be no the personal arrangement. In the finance the whole country shannon sa. Emrika be audio mining na betuno. And I think all of us as a country should pray for such a person. Because no, we shall on that need establish we are. Ombay or margin so mobile be this kind of man. What me I say?
Yeah, no.
Remember my brother.
America
Exactly.
Yo.
Exactly. Remember my brother chance to know so Enkasabi.
In fact, he agrees with you. Because of Kennedy Japan
John,
come.
you have
Mr.
just
Yayo Poku,
yes, sir.
what do you say about you quickly? Nyanko on the ground then I'm more here this week.
Oh, okay.
Lawyer cannot think can try Kennedy Japan as a radical person because I know that's what he wants.
Right. Yeah, Steph, you need to come. I'm in chair for any ashefo nyina na mesia chia team can USA for hard work year. M said 26 by September 26 yeah annual gala fundraiser Bronx, New York. You know, obi a oben abi a obetuma take advantage. No wa baby. If you me more brad John Basopa wakasa me wakame semi nyina ma. Ade a yakasa ba ebinum ntiase ba eko to the end, you know. Meaning say at least 3 years to main election. Your problem are you facing in fear within internal no MPP. How to get the flag bearership. Now, sorry. Meaning say with time people will begin to understand the dynamics of how politics, you know, you have to vote and make decisions based on issues. Yemfa obi say we hojo we wa hodrasie we na no efe o yi di on pekasa o sa life na twem fia ya man fato a lot of scenarios bebre anka yebetimi yenuan betimi agina so de afa mo adwun aka asema yenu can make sense fia America so about you get exposed to anema bebre na no to Ghana mentality na train kakra about hey okay anema bu ani yenim Kromo akolako school. I repeat this. Akolako school no ye din pe. Ube wo na teacher, master, headmaster na school principal ni afrel. Uba na den eko school. Fi oba school te din too much. What is going on? They want to find us akolano bibi na drum ye clear obi ana. And so Ghana akola wo eye din wo school pe. Sa akola nkra na man a gift to school. Teacher for nyina pe na sem. Oh, akola we don pen ho asem o. Oh yeah, this has been a problem. What if I very difficult. And my brother John here said it better. Say it's about time. We need a pragmatic leader. Now man fan to my pifra. If you have some more kind of make because on the end and them. God can on no chance one was as CB said that and also one who be now ultimate create not dream no creative. This thing can be a money. And then they can't pay me follow. Now he was talking about in Kransa, maybe a monkeys in Gube Breno. And right away, yeah, he referred to Rwanda. Says some monkeys here number it's money. Need a tourist attraction. We need a pragmatic leader who can.
But wouldn't say the facts will be one side and interest and necessarily because in the past, they've talked big, but
yeah, you got it right. I'm with you with this one, but let me. This is where, and then 100% I support what you just said. The fact is, Obiwa idea that doesn't make him say so bad leader, but we've been giving chances upon chances upon chances, and nobody is able to do it. Now he said, let's give him that chance and do it.
Okay.
So what I said, it's about time. Let's try a businessman. Ghana from Kwame Nkrumah, Pennsylvania. Any businessman Bianco Jubilee House. Let's give him that chance. Or no challenging who say Ghana for son we 4 years, so I'm on Mutunu. And he know he's going to deliver. I can say, Ken, your man have first 4 years now. Because so he wants who say if you know Ken, he like challenge. And the way people are doubting so John and Montini, some profound, that's what they like.
So prove you wrong that he can deliver.
That's that's their behavior.
Okay.
He's going to make sure he prove everybody wrong. Say yes, and if you can also apply to say wisdom, knowledge and wisdom are different. What I say? Knowledge you can acquire with school, but wisdom near the and only fear no. It is a one who's an with difference. A woman as I was said the piano, Ubedi ye can kasa and I can be attempt. Let's look beyond that attempt,
okay,
and see what is inside him. You bet him the ayabo man. I don't know what they say.
okay. But my name is same way says the conduct of the campaign. You always say so far can they at least were conducting we say Jabi Obia. But now equation you are the better we find X. And say one typical can there no. But the can be a job no they Jabi ba Omiano say. Find X. What campaign no muko ya muko re no.
Right.
Ken cannot extricate. In fact, Ken who MPP mukra sana ba Omiaba. And he said, oh, yeah, sure, being finding yes. I can only first person also find it S. But what the question I question about me, I can't say about me, I can't say S. Therefore, you should find S.
Have the X contest, what team you? And Crawford, me pacha mami chile mukakra.
Me, I'm to be at I can't penal. No, what I say, but I'm saying, what about they say about me, because who can own a car nine?
It is a can nine petty. I the entity. I mean, can X fine X in the day. Say it. Or Musu and go school in math. That was the fine X. Up to date X in my. We still searching for X. If you are S, say at this time of modern politics, Obi beti mabeti na wakase minya 41 last time Minesa, I mean here just 9. To me, I find it say, well, it send you can't say it. I find it say, oh, that, just be honest with yourself. Every election be a start from 0. So also account 9. Also account 9 per day. Any mama no so and these are called mine. They already got the 56. It's why are you doing the election? Who account 9 per day on 56 welcome. And then you have 50 plus 1.
Okay.
And on 56%. The account 9 per no 56. Why are you campaigning? Thank you. If that's the scenario there, and as is the case there, why are you campaigning? It's in a 5X, they're only free buy.
Okay.
So there's no reference there. So it'll be the 1 million or taking 8 years, no, the echo buy there. What are the 1.7? No, you're checking, who can find X is equal to 13.6. That is almost 13 years, 6 months. And now Ubenya X. Please, it's us every day. Every day, so mom, every 9 pen on my jacket. Because I'm wow. Yeah.
But when they say that Mushe train and more jabby, mu use other contestants to jab Baumia.
Oh, no. It's not that true. No, we will never do that. Never. No. If you are Obeka, me no have interview you are say me catch now beginning now crowd for say Brian Adutwum about they are going to steal more vote from Ken. And I break it down to you.
Say, young people know what Ken side.
Reference said no, but we also have youth. No, I mean, reference said Onukra is part of the youth leaders now. No more champion for Baumia. It's Baumia also has the youth. The problem I almost faces here and they say ideology now or what Muchim said we're bringing Ken supporting Adutwum to come and distract Ken supporters. And we are 1. 2, let's do top-down approach and also a failure. It is right now, from my intel, which I'm not going to say it here, you're planning next move, planning, but you basically are no coin.
Okay.
But be on the best, you basically are no coin. We're not going to announce it here.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, it's in Omnia careful. Say, Brian, also said Brian, no, about nobody second on partner. It's all launching home. And of course, Brian campaign lawyer, and he want to win. Who beside Brian Nipebi because I also want to win. I do to Nipebi better because we are winning. But I've run it from the D-Day, no, and I can't go kind of showdown, so I could do the attempt. I've run it from it, and Brandon only at 2 about the Ubeti Ayamo money will reflect on January 31st in the minds of delegates. The echo trade. It's yet the chop and echo delegates and can unity to if you are. I hope so will follow time to time. All he does is Yapamucho, Moma me Pamucho, Mudam Summon share.
Antibaumia chop and Kennedy can start so patcho.
Debbie, big time to abani we no. Now Baumia has the opportunity to go out there to apologize. It will be sure thank you Tono. The first day they mount stage. Can Kasana some of can say by na minimum say thank you a chopper. That and I different into on there. No bench na wakasa or bestre. Say Australia delegate for you and son no can be continue on the message, Odika polling station, party executive, constituency executive, or the chopper but at the thank you. Now you got it.
Late.
It's a way overdue. Say they feel like say, okay, one will say we campaign in Koye, it will be true for say Nadia. Okay, because and a chopper crab me patch on. Would they go to contest? Or say, ba my banner dear, say, maybe I may pam, ye pamucho, on casa me pamucho, ye pamucho, you and who? And that so Obia beto about men case, aqua will di my chintin amount to mammy. But the amount shall me about me and amount to mammy. Right then, what's that betrayal supporters? And you know, me name who is advising, and I say, Obia. But me a personal advisor or guiding them because campaign there. To be honest, or no, I was saying the campaign. Now I was glad said Honorable Adutwum and then Ras and then answer. He said the record straight. Yeah, Bisan was one of his interviews. So they say about me say MPP for Pacho say and you might be a buying or my year near the almost say. Adutwum blunt says on century na no kase or no economy na the man no or failure to me pacho me Adutwum they give me education ministry and men Ghana for you idea dance say man failure it mean
and flyer no crowd to screen so
yes
he about me is beating about the bush
but go straight to the point and say I'm sorry to Ghanaians so what I said it Ken namo nyina no he's preaching for unity. Now, Adebia, Yera Kennedy, me feba copa, they say, fear. Why, be also offering a social contract. And social contract, no, they say, Obama polling station delegates know how. It's not about money. That's how Becca, any say, Ubenya, microphone, and yet GDA will say, Adia, where Muma Mequenya can deliver. It's on no Mukontia. That is the social contract. No amount of form, say, fail it. Say, what to abandon mammy na can make me bannerman to me and yet near me promise you. Now went to me with a police station. Now what signs are from Webby. Now MPP ban where near Jumanya. A party executive, that's our constituency anymore. All the report, but all chair Juman Wama no, I caught him and a guest and then for say make in Japan. That person will be fired. This is a form I'm giving to you to sign.
Okay.
That is a social
contract. They say, I do all no. Okay.
Yes.
How it will end up. Yes. Whether Oman for because we just say
he will deliver. He will deliver.
Okay.
For that, I know I know he's going to deliver. What challenging him, and I like that type of campaign. Let's challenge ourselves.
Okay, Mami Musa, question on Galamsey. Galamsey so far sending an NSCJ acting CJ say I have West. Let me ask you a quick one. I'm more man for joining on Galamsey.
Okay. In fact, before I shifted to my brother, my son salutu you. Yechi America for you now. Some will say I'm with it. Omana say yes, yes, so I'm no problem. Wait now. Ken aspect no. Pacho nanka toma all followers are. Unse bebrena na neutrals. Omunyi omunim. And you want omo you omunim so omo support honorable Ken. Ken there or for Ghana nyina you for no mini pa because of Burkina and air constant. Nti you better to ask no omo so say nka the way honorable Ken ankasa in the campaign also almost set a trap man but he doesn't want to respond to anybody. And think omo mudi na chi no so no they should be measured. Well, they should be measured in their utterances anyway near it. Now, Omunjai, Dr. Baumiani issues into Okra. Oh, because a basana now Obisukra ope honorable Ken asem because ne hu nipa ne ba omia nti wu di na tem na abaya ne ewo ho. And let's focus on say onu ba obeye adwuma na amaye. Nia Dr. Baumia ye wan ye na yenja omo na yenhwe hawa. Honorable Ken ba odigana beko speed. Now on the Galamsey, it's a fear Galamsey issue no. Eja me wo kan omo a eye headache ma wono. Wo start nyende fitia those days tamaton I start Galamsey we. Until another time I didn't be so serious. Every day ya can. And this a fear we thought to say enka after 2024 elections, campaign will be a thing of the past. Because in the build up to election, MPP, stop, Nyomano, Omubane Kra along the line. And now the NDC had used that as their main flagship campaign message. All the leaders in the NDC were using that. It's a fear until we all accept to say we are Ghanaians, we are citizens of this country. Nobody can solve this Galamsey thing for us. So the moment we bring in MPP, NDC, Yase BBRBU. And I'm so sad because that is a challenge confronting us now. Fit last week, the body language of Ye Papa in NDC, it changed completely. And from last week up to now, I can say on authority, say, until we appeal to our friends and good people in NDC to change the narrative now. The campaign on Galamsey, and Yedumabio. Because leaders now umbedi enumaya solve no. Omwa ba public abeka say Galamsey no yen to mean stop it. Now it's the fear. There's nothing like small mining in Ghana here. It doesn't work out. Small mining, is equal to Galamsey. Period. Who can almost say small mining is regulated? How can you go and regulate somebody in the village? Mining. What do you mean I say? And one more license for small scale. If they want to do that small scale, they won't get anything from it. They have to go by the Galamsey methodology, and so that they can get something.
Okay.
Yes, that is the difference. Oh, so there's nothing like small scale mining now. All we have is a big one from the Anglo Gold Nina Sifono. We are no fewer. The next one is Galamsey. We have only 2 types of mining in Ghana here. The main one in Galamsey, period. Because who call small scale mining, you won't get anything. So they have to use the root method. Nanipana only license Ukrano. Galamsey, nyam more. Nami ame license. Mami nko the team wona mi nyabi.
In terms of method no using the obi aye no hufin.
Obi aye no hufin because I know so na ebre omo bibi. Emma these politicians no so say nyabi. Oh, so that is where the challenge is. But it's a fear baby aye do know. It's a very serious thing that all of us should come together as a country. Unfortunately, we are not in power. They haven't given us the power. The governance structure is not favoring me and you to go and stop the Galamsey. What we can do is to just advocate and then also appeal to their consciences that they are also citizens of this country. They were born in this country. Even if they were born outside, they were still brought into this country. They have friends, they have family members in this country. This is all we have. If we don't protect it now, we talked about protecting it. CCA baby, are very serious and dangerous.
The position of government, no, Osha, and yes, or more fight it.
I best say assembly cry last week. Oh, I best say assembly cry last week. Yeah, gentle president, JM, but this time, no way, mini pass or beja legacy. I wish to send a last week press conference on Kawanya. Ebisu anu nimsa umbe bisane Galamsey. Oh, because question no mobisa no, it put him on the spot. And he didn't know what to say. Because Galamsey is an area you bisawa who answer our farmer. Because one of our comma promise. So ubechemenya the papa. And I will buy
you are saying you were disappointed in his answer. So say China for no say assassin. In the end, Ghana for into near chicken from.
now what to be that Galamsey China around a chomukoda da do. After a ye had ya one fee system no mono. What to say China for Eddie Galamsey a nimbio. Sisia party for Nankasa na TSM. What me I say? Yeah, but China for I open who back home me nubi. But Galamsey Nankasa a friend Galamsey is here upokra you won't see the Chinese people. Omonebia no more pre-finance keke. No mwenya because after Asha one issue no. Chinese for no Israel mohona oma buying so how regulate any Ghana buying regulate how Chinese should go about their activities here.
Okay.
If you are Chinese and you are still involved in Galamsey, not just a Ghana government, and I didn't say Sinobo, and I allow say go and do Galamsey. Other than that, there's no way any Chinese can involve themselves in Galamsey in Ghana again. And the answer no, the man, and I abon bebre because there were audios making rounds. And now people were waiting for the president himself to come public and state his stance on Galamsey and the way forward. In a press conference, in America said, "Mena kami and last press conference kawanye." Wow, because entrapment nearby, you're trapping, and on the spot,
Entrapment. Anybody will tell you, say if you are going to a major press briefing, say yeah, Galamsey, LGBT. There are questions you can anticipate. Where the entrapment.
And if yeah, questions in Nibi. Yeah, 2 months, I want prepare. Okay.
You cannot say you haven't prepared because you should have prepared. One also, yeah. It's a question.
Okay, my instance. My instance. You see how I'm a party publicly, me pesa me can be beer. Eberhard. We okay, JM, the first coming, Okoye BBC, and they put him on the spot. And now,
corruption question.
Who said, aha, you pisa before I realize it, now, one man and no say me as a president, and I'm me as the same thing that is see and nanny. Because stop here. You have disappointed. You see, I see party for an article. Do you get my point? And this you are banning it up. Then the follow-up question will be when? And to be a woman 2 weeks, in 2 weeks' time, we expect to say, party members in and obey your Mayfi Bush as the president. And he had to be smart and dance around the issue. Okay. But by being smart and dancing around the issue, that is the serious aspect of it.
Because so we are award-winning journalist, on the current journalist of the year, in the report now about Galamsey. Now he's saying, say, NDC executives no Galamsey, hijack all the in the villages.
My dear sister, Erasmus. Congrats to Erasmus because all risking a life in doing some of the detailed ones for us. But with or without Erasmus, it's a fear. We drive around, or maybe I am a cases, Western region, Eastern, who took my river body be who be a tick, how I mean describing so condensed milk, say. And then Milo, 3 in 1, said the very thick one. And Antifia, and then Nanny China scientists for Ekates and Nanny China, you can turn it to clean water. Wow. And to my point, and then I said, you're starting in Necra.
When are you going to have the answer? No, simple. That's what you are driving at.
Yeah, but some way, somehow. And America said, one prepare, onim say, ye baby, sa question, on the spot. Maybe next week, within 2 weeks, we are appealing to him to come back again because the thing is, we can't take a no answer for the stop or ban on Galamsey. At least, young fans and Nanado cry blaming, no. We're always on him. Who can so ban Galamsey kakra? And within that period, water bodies were recovering. And who can so say NDC bar power no? They also held on, almost stopping Crawford from Galamsey. So okay, Emma, the director for scientific one, Obama lady no prof no. Echo around. The prof in charge of Mr. Kokofune Jume. EPA for woman lady no. And also Nani said they've been able to tame Galamsey. So okay, there are videos to that effect.
Yeah.
I don't know to try Edemobia. But right after JM Sate, I'm saying Nemcrophone take advantage of you. MIC and Sunni Kalani, and easy crack. But until fear, yeah, dreams cano hono. Are we selling our life? Where you warning as asem. And we might think say yeah, wakra. We buy pure water, and then and your bottled water near then. Until we are okay. Hey, but with time, if all water bodies are contaminated, so pure water distillery companies, ombenya the source of water na efi himfa. Ansa no makwa akoye we so.
Good question.
And on here na yebenya so ye de adware. But are we thinking about only those in Accra and our village for no, so we have to also think about them also. And ebi also no Ghana, we should also think about our tourism. What am I saying? Tourists, who move outside about this country. Now, about this country, call around Eastern region. Now they drive around and they see all our water body turn into color they can't describe. Baby Ombekobia, Ufi said, call back, would they come back into this country again? Oh, so there are more serious. Yes, there are more serious issues that should confront us as a major challenge rather than go board now, ya set it up now, and then you ya pay ways and means. As talk go there was as na ya the ababe go. No. It is end Pam no channel if by giving it to people under the guise of small scale mining there. Like I have rightly said, in Ghana, there's nothing like small scale mining. We only have the large scale and Galamsey. These are the two. And if the citizenry are complaining about Galamsey, then what will appeal to the presidency, the government of the day, and say, you put the Galamsey aside. Whoever wants to do mining, let all of them come together and do large scale mining. Because I don't know, you will say you're very safe. Anglo Gold name as if for Newmont near there.
Together as one big company.
Exactly. Wow. It is almost. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. I am fancy here so that the rest can come.
You can't say Galamsey any dear, he's very disappointed in president. I don't agree with counsel when he said that President Bonu Pusa. Because any reasonable president should have expected Galamsey as the number one question. You cannot say that to be a president. I will expect Galamsey question. It's impossible. Galamsey LGBT kana Moses Monica so disappointed the media for to be a Musa. That question should have been asked. But again, your friend one Moses Monica should not even be too hard on them. Maybe another journalist had the question. But I am friend. Maybe that's the reason why I stopped going to press briefings. I mean, Kobe. Oben mounts as to me certain for planted questions. Yes, we money ever from Timin Kobe. Inti Baba Nana, I remember also. Good evening.
This is good evening. My tea is some but the fellow said we are just going in circles. I don't think so. On my muno I just say we want to solve a problem. Because you Galamsey share can hose me. Some mama Bresson started the first time. It was a big issue. and he struggled with it. The second term, by me, it's not about Mahama as a person because Mahama Beko and will still be, dealing with that particular issue. So beyond Mahama, and my question to you, Ghana, for you say, do we really mean or do we really intend that we want our government to help us solve this problem? I think that's how we should be having the conversation. See, a conversation tied to Mahama, I think so we'll all be disappointed. And the country, I think that oftentimes that is our problem. We try to personalize the issues and think that, the issue is a particular president problem. It's a particular person's problem. We have to see more like it's
And not Ghana for your problem.
Yeah.
Problem.
Yeah. And then who doesn't solve any problem because Nipa no Bebako, he's just in that office for a time. And Sebio, if you say me chatra, the facts are before you. He was there 4 years, some 4 years or 12 years back. And he left. Another person came, that person has left, he's come again. And you think that, he will not leave and this problem will still be there. Mimi say TEC4 approach, reckless approach now in the election period now, maybe condemn me. Now that the election, they shouldn't have even started that approach. But regardless, I came back. Chat threats,
the emergency now no money now
say they were just being political because it didn't make sense. Solution no open no sa. Sisi ana ya to aba na wie no. Bibia ajubra. I do say do bu no. Governance. You do governance part. This is the time they now need to engage the government, engage the opposition leader, engage all political parties, engage religious bodies, engage all the same, even small scale or the same miners, and engage the big mining company, engage CSOs. Now I am brought into a part, a communique about certain action plans that we think the government must implement on our behalf. If even it means codifying those action plans into some, legislation. Let's do that now. This is your tax. Do A, B, C, D on our behalf. Sister, if you're why do I propose this, solution? Because if he said that would have been the collective consensus, at least on the generality of how the people think we must solve this problem. It will not be like a bina and he wants to fight a certain group of people. That way we can depoliticize assembly and our plan regardless of whether Mahama is president or not, the next government will have something to go along with, work with. Just like we would have done in the National Development Plan that would be tied to every political party that would have come to rule this country. Then we'll take away the politics away. We will also embolden whichever government it's there at the time to be able to see through or the same plan. No?
Okay.
And then that would have means that it has the blessings of everybody generally across our society. And I think that would take away the motivation for somebody else to go and stand and do politics with it when somebody or when the government is trying to implement those measures. Just if you may my drink and me feel that is the way we'll go. But say I MPP NDC, say I am 12 years, 16 years now. Your results be. So we cannot continue on that path.
Okay.
Indeed, that is what I would say. But me, that's an
on the Baumia issue, community of the camp.
Friends of Baumia USA, we are still here. And then the young baby, and one more should be more American. If you want to join the train, come. We still believe that the vehicle is a viable vehicle. We've had, when you're in government, you face issues. We face issues, the economic tangle, and that's that economic issue. Even up to date in the US, they are still struggling to solve that problem. Trump is fighting his Fed chairman because he wants interest rate cuts so that they can support the economy and reduce stress and, cost of living. Those are issues that don't take, it doesn't take 2 years to resolve. It takes time. And if the Baumia camp attacks nearby, sister fear, it's expected because the camp for and this they are trying to oversee us, right? And that take us from the position. But what I'll tell them then they say, yes, as much as they have their legitimate right, all the other candidates to attack us, I think they must show us their policy. They must show us what they intend to do. As for the attacks, we will not be distracted. We will continue to focus on our message. And the message, we are consistent. We believe, the digitization agenda is still very high and it must be continued no matter what with our economic agenda. We also believe, Baumia, I mean, stand tall because, Sister Fia, I've said that a Baumia candidate opens up a lot of opportunities within the MPP and outside of the MPP. Like, you need to be connected to wealth to be a president. And it also shows that, I mean, any minority group anywhere in this country who aspire to the seat of what? The presidency at any point in time in the history of our country. We need that. We need people to realize that I don't need to belong to a particular dominant ethnic group to be considered or to be favorable to be elected into the high office of the president.
Yeah, but
It
I
should
think
not.
the issue when Bayern was that the apology, not the man, is too late. And it's also a genuine.
Sister Fia, before the apology, you know, because the Minister of Finance came to apologize. And then the man, this will be the Minister of Finance and one of the year. Man, paying up for the year. Obeka said, Minister of Finance, Adam.
I mean, Adam.
Ebe apologize. Even we apologize to the bondholder. Say, we don't intend to inflict pain on our people. But we needed to have done that. It was a necessary evil to get us out of a worse situation that would have hit our country. And at that point, it was a painful decision. But of course, it was a political decision, and we've suffered the consequence of that decision, right? I mean, at the electoral polls in the Bindi, we suffered the consequence, and we know the people were not happy. We ourselves were not happy about it, but it was a painful thing we had to do to rescue that economy. And then at the time, you know, sister, and found in church, we be able to be. Obi and Sika showing the Sika Irano. That is not the time you are coming to give them the explanation. It will not work because already, you know, we are not going to reverse that decision because it is baked in an IMF program that you have to execute and all that kind of stuff. And I think at this time now, this is the time to let people know, say, hey, these things that were done, no, they were not done with but regardless, no, it has unintended consequences. So this is the time. I don't know what people want the man to say again. The finance minister can or not at a certain point, and he still says it's not genuine. It's better late than never. So on in the campaign, he decided not to
That's
comment.
what I said. Adutwum say on patch up for the failed economy because I know they went failing.
I think it's
Education
fair.
was solid.
It's fair. So, Adutwum Casio on patch for the field economy. At some point, he was championing the economic, policies of the government, and he stood, tall and thin. What the failures and the good of Akufo the government, you know, Bamia did not run away from it because he was part of it. Into Casio apologizing for economy now. I think saying this economy brought hardship to people, right? That will not run away from it. But what we are saying in the regardless, going forward, no, there will always be mistakes that will happen in governance. And those mistakes, when they happen, it is just right and appropriate to acknowledge and apologize for them and move on. Because if we could have done something about it, I believe I would have done it then. Because we couldn't do anything that play out. Intimate, everybody focused on your abilities to, propel our country beyond an MPP. Because you're not a campaign for MPP. You're campaigning for the whole country. Will the whole country feel comfortable? Obi on your MPP, will he feel comfortable about a flag bearer that we elect that will go and campaign for as president? If people outside of the MPP will not feel comfortable, never say MPP for that they feel comfortable around a flag bearer and a candidate. I think that will not serve us right because at the end of the day, the generality of Ghana for somebody and I think about the metrics, about as far as me are concerned in my history, in my lifetime, like I've said, Akufo-Addo is the most impactful president I've seen in my lifetime, and Bawumia is the most visible vice president that I've seen work with a president. Mimi who vice president why Juma to say Bawumia. On the basis of that, he has a track record. We can stand on that to say he is viable for being an elected flag bearer of the MPP and also to be able to lead our country, Ghana. So on that basis, other candidates, they must show that viability because they have good stuff that they can show.
Okay.
They should show that will not be for us to market them. It will be for they themselves to show us and show Ghana for beyond the MPP, they have a certain general appeal across the political debate because on mine the peace, the stability of our country. So it's not just running an MPP affair. And this is if you have FOB, Friends of Bawumia there, and also and will be in all for our adult,
Bawumia. Find it S into more S now my
Sister, actually, question, it was a wrong question. Let me tell you why it was a wrong question. Because premises now or no debisa question no. Say you obi John Mahama take 8 years, not John Mahama take 8 years, no all they can answer. Sabi. Sa 1.7 million vote, no 1.2 million vote, no. John Mahama better so no onya all take na COVID see. Ocean environment need the settings now. It's not even comparable to come and say start solving for X. Stop X. If MPP flag bearership near, what makes you think that you can solve for that X? Even internal one, no, yeah, MPP no, won't mean win here. But you think that by some magic you can win the general election? First proof to all.
First, I don't find it S within the delegate S no.
Yes, within the MPP first. And then we now prove this how X now. Now come and prove to us how you win the general election. But X now within MPP first step, no, I won't cross it. Who be so be on one process our step and they say, I'm finding the bigger X. Bigger X in the system. If you're making internal one, yeah, we'll show him how to suffer our bigger X. But I must caution one thing, sister, if you're MPP UK, but maybe one only didn't come on. My name saw a UK4 MPP organizer or something. He made a profound statement, sir. So I don't think so. No edition camp. I don't know which camp it is, but he's saying,
and then Okasayana.
Baby, I think so. On another platform where he's attributing the fact, sir, it is unknown intelligence, and they said if Baumia wins the of the saying flag bearership in the MPP, Kennedy Japan supporters will stay behind. They will not go and vote. And in similar vein, if Kennedy Japan wins the candidacy, Baumia phone also almost bedding on Metanasi. I can tell the MPP for if that is the mentality go forward there, and yet we can keep going at this for a very long time, and it will not help anybody. What you say? And Mahu said because of that, the MMI just around the statement that to me said, Mahu said, won't to me so I could come, baby say, or one person would demand paying, they have to wait for Baumia to come. And so I'm a bit me who bit me about. Meaning, sir, Baumia and the president, one person would be president, the better person will be the president. Well, at the end of the day, I'll say that the decision is left with the delegates, you know. Our delegates will decide who will lead us. But say Obibeka say many candidates and we need into because of that main campaigning man in the day. I think sir mentality no be adwuma faton chan because every you obi ni much now and obi nim the base yochna otiase into no say nyina koya ne sa na say okay yes about me afio ne we yes better nan chan. And I know in 2020 most people did that, not Kennedy Japan PC, but some of his followers actually did not do campaign for Baumia, they stayed back. But I won't blame it on say Baumia winning because there was other issue going on. Obekai Alan Chemantitu had left the party, and obviously some of those people went into the second Kennedy Japan camp because of protest votes. So there were other confounding things going on. So I won't clearly attribute that to mean say because Baumia winning into they didn't come to campaign for or the same on. But it's a mentality on Kofa Juma Mestre say. MPP, if you really want to be successful and you really want to be credible, so our mentality, you know, the party candidate, you know, the committee no matter, you know, they must call this candidate and let them denounce that particular one notion and openly declare, sir, regardless of who wins, all the party will come together and what and support that candidate. Sister Fiona, that's for this opportunity. I mean, sure.
I mean now as so. Or say the Kennedy Japan should rather find internal S, find the smaller S. We have a bigger S. And Brother Benjamin, good evening.
Good morning, David. Man, if you are to me, I'm about to good. I'm answering. If you are Anna and Sambia Miao, Sambia, because if you said you share my Ghana pa, you go Maya to prayer. Vim. And tell me with some sent this in MPP to imagine so Omoya Ghana, yeah, and also Omoya Ghana day. To be honest, if you are Sabi, Yenya Fikakra. You say the name woman Ghana tepa, ye de politics ni brofo akese kan afia ye say ye man. It me busa ye say. And the end this Indian people who say ye need the last generation ye want woman Ghana mo ana. Ye chimi obi am be mana. There be if you on say do baby I say me dwenu ho mentiase nso bia na ma nwene ho. Because so we hwam no ma afia ye pa wutimu say like I say ye we different planet bi. What you say? Galamsey and somewhere by you must see who say, Nana be poacho. One of Solano power did good, a good practice, a teacher Jenny Gu Eric. What you say? Ene aduane mboa ye dene. Ye de Nyankopon ye adumo. Wa me fertile land yanke aduane nye ye na. Anke betimi focus on agriculture. Sister Fia, hwe enwe na me hwe video bi. Se baby bayiro motuo sumo vim. Omunya tofo mpo no mabeto. Enti nka bank we your privilege edma sen ka beto bayiro we nya frekuafo no kura ho. Na wa store bi na nka wadi bi ade ice sport akwa foreign country no de akwaje pounds, euro, dollars. If you want to make anche musa America wa mu ni bayire. Mutimi nka nkyere me Germany edi me UK ha all over the world enti nka bank kura focus on agriculture na nka sa Galamsey no wontwam. Sister Fia, because Galamsey na wo mo ye no. The funny thing is omo ye ayi ni nyan omo ni mu ho ideas bia wo. Sana ani maku no omo tietia mu dia yi na afie mo mo yade me no mieru nyina fra manse koko hwe manso me mi free po no anwa kwanta afranse ko hwe manso me tuma ka se first na duane na free manso be kuma se asante de na manso fo nkwa e provide almost 40%. And afie na manso fo be kuma so no mabeto banche manso fo be kuma so no mabeto emkuruma ne ayi. And it's a cost of living se se de wo so wutu gold o afia mu next generation na mode wo haw ne amane to omo ho. Because you could a man for be bound by ye. You could a champion money, other a present one bound by ye. Oh, and it's you hear champion no more 2 year, a building Ghana, a map Ghana, my so steamed. I got in 20, you penny for me trans no more for courses and your with sister fear. And no media bro for some, yes, say and sassy. You need to yet destroy no sister, and necessary Ghana pie to home. Or what the idea of the main in a few. And who come near my son to be quiet. Afia me no krom Jacobu and na no ma bi ti say ko wu bi atentina no emo no baby om de nya ya destroy no ensuo o na ya san and kokore oda wodi ase and ya tena se na tese Ghana ne ye to no me dwiri ho amente ase ye ni pe bi a tese sabi o wani so ade hu bi ampo and ye nua ni nyina sai and ye di widisa afia sade nsan ka me do hwe me gadi bi mo a soja ni bi wa madam no English ni wado ayi why garden be one away in am so 1 grams on so no say grams on there am so the goose we bashim fu any yi na me kan sa and this one quite research and me ko Scotland quite me ba last week am etia no and was me ma dwere nye me ye nipa boni nipa am say adai bi na me wura fio and was me person me ko on ni family am say me kum mabusu asesai am was me so 1 grams on wu ayi na grams on me adwuma ye we di gu na fo no so an nyoma ni nyina beshi. Second, Nyankopon ma wo se de yo mo bi o mo fertile land no emo ni nyina bewu dead aduane bi e be firi oba nipa bi obedi ubenya wo se kidri besai we liver we test just wo bo nyoma bebre so sister Fia ye kuro mu a ye maame mo ye afuyi okokuma sikejetia na okoto we decide do ton wo ni mu ha de
And no anti boy ya na say owu ye friend say Osanjo munyina. I said that's how munya cancer of the blood no. We decide na de pete yi so no.
Afia enti broni ni kire enti wo kan no na me say end ye wu on obi okoto na de agusuom no de apiti o de aguna enti afia so be hwa me tira kurase enti na me kasa sa no first na nka June July April May June ye fa ntenwa ye kopenwa and then when nyina free ya Ghana mem and pimpre mre na nka ye dofu epie afie ni nyina afiri okọ oh ye din kakran
sa ye twa because of Galamsey.
Okay, sister.
Because cocoa price di buy kwafo no kwase ohun videos na ebi mbofu say na esa de omu twitwa cocoa no omu nyina beton asase na ma Galamsey for no ma ye Galamsey nti this is where we are.
Enti me person me busa say afia asema me busa wo ka ho bi ye ni e wo ho me ni umi nti ye ni ati no ye na the last generation was asase so obi ama Ghana bi ma na
there be and the only mansa no
enti ye sa buro sem we na me de ye me o mama nsia ma mu kura ne say
yeah, but president ma answer what your president answer no say Galamsey for beba be China for beba be tutu no ma say asase de ye ma Ghana for no momunye na yen check yo mo na yen gisika no na yen fanye o man ye
if your president Kaza na a farm baby or totally wrong to the sense say me many fled you there were 2 types of mining. There was surface mining and there were underground. Surface mining you destroy nature, you sense as sense you. You 2 bossy go you know bossy na underground. It is an idea that man is what this occasion will not offer a mountain mobile no money and then can go underground. Nens asina ye bedi so phone ni ndi enke nwo boase ni wo
So
asase
mun
ya
guys surface ni amonya underground
face
no.
man if you say omuja so face man na and the ababi obebia no obeso sidi because so face man ye destroy forest ye destroy bi biara sisafia
Okay. Very well.
ono de etima ye fu but say ye underground ayini dia ebe boa ma o man etima so sidi on ne si be ye so face man ni ya sense as ye say ye nso de sisafia abo person so otu ni bet ne meta de ewu ebedu me bi na ne ho tetewo de ye no afia enche we de ye benya ho resource etimi sire Ghana
Yes,
for
ya start inya dada. Mr. Kuti mama na wase ya start inya dada because
Vim.
that kidney ni ade o kan say Ghana ye say ye kwa na no mo say ye lead o say den. Kidney
program we
cancer say bi na osanjo di afa ho awakwa akowi. Mama Mr. Aka, good evening. O network na nye ne kra minimum so be gina ho yi a. Na ka me fa David na ba.
Otemenka.
Aha, fe de me
Otemenka.
kika kra but we ye check first.
Me chia tiefo nyina. Sister Via. Ba France so yi se to no se no. Ya den kakra se ya ne de ko. Me say nsem de ya ka bi da bia empanimfo no nyese bia omunim o. Omunim. Na Sister Via mo say car a da bia ye to car. O to car this year 2025 wa 2026 ya ba foforo be bwana. Ba nipa ye nyini ko nyina na ye mpomu ye de eyemre. Ye nyini ko nyina ye mpomu ye mre o. Ye kan panimfo no a omo honom no a omo wu no. Omo nsa ma wiase bi o sesi o. Ye ti ase. So de bia mo se mu ade papa be na mo ya maye. South Africa mo too good o. Africa ye nyina too good. Burkina Faso nyina mo too good. What is obi complaining in so say? Nti omo de omo sika na ye pe.
Oh, Misaka. Misaka jina baby ufro. Brama ka mame fa na Misaka jina baby from Misaka jina baby a first time ya wujina no. Oh, Brama ka mame ti o. Asama ko fa Jerry ho back on Galamsey na mpete mo jina Galamsey. Enti o.
Okay, so Galamsey we am chiamunya. Galamsey ne dey now course no na me kakra na dey me feel say you see Ghana for ye be kasa ten na say for me kana get omu aban timenye we aban timenye. Yeah, sukro ya no ne wo aban ni mu a ye boa sa parties too na omudi en so no. Emma for over 20 years you feel ye ni fee you feel say Galamsey na shase gidigidi no. Sa party for me no omanya sika wo mo de run no party because party for me no omuni sika wo baby a. Oma won say Galamsey no ehonom no ye easy money free. Eti omo share that hye nkofo achi no ma ye omo say omo fighting na sefo. Say if ye for see person fight Galamsey na say parties ni me no. Edru ba bi a step a decision ye make a decision against that party ni me say ye to be atia omo me no na ye demonstration na enye party sem Ghana sem MPP for a omo ye Ghana for NDC for omo ye Ghana for ye nya ye sorry atia sa party ni me no na yetumi ayede ama party me no asiti because NDC free so MPP for be ye gidi actually so 1 year ombeka say nsuo no asase sen first no NDC free so MPP free so say NDC buy yes nsuo no asase sen first no my MPP so mra esa be say asen first no because omo mienu na nkasa no omo e de Ghana for adwe ne yede e di agro ana omo e play ye ana yenso no yama ya adwen aye say party no ene ye nkwaje inse say ye be ye say ye oman ma na ye fight for generation ade ye timi shimo kroma ne sister fia broni no the Bible buy ye na ono no say wiase be kwa wi na ye nkan no broni na yas ne kwan a ebe last next 40 years next 50 years Trump satam no wawu no ni assassination yan ye Bible ni bedi ye nsem no emma aban no mpanifo no oma chane omo bibia to Christo so mama ene yesi ye wo osun da ya afa ko hwan na koka kire omo se maso da ye ne broni na ono no the Bible ne bro no 50 years oguso ye na kwan a wo plan onim se wiase ne besa yo but wiase ne nyan say ye no wo kire ade no in the next 300 years in the next 400 years on fa ho ba wo won kire no even 2 years say kasa Ghana 2 years bibia ankoso o Ghana yenya ye betwitwa ye ho ye bekunku ye ho undru sa level no but what for Bible no World Cup ana Onye wadwin se wo ye bibia na ye sole ye pretty wiase bese yo yemfi ye japa bi enkosoro ne na se for you see omo ma ye nim Ghana for ye ma ye nim politicians no omo play ya che na dia na me correct wo ye can say where ya kan president fa Galamsey ne ho no question I buy was omo busa say gold board no top gold ni bia Galamsey gold na adentina gold board na yes sir and no mass answer ne say now the reason why it's a gold board ni yes sir no before no na sa China for India for na say for no omo na talk sa gold no na omo to sa gold na ekọ omo ho no ma omo no fa omo no nya hwe mfa so it's gold board na say na why no omo to gold no nyia anti gold board no ene make yin nyia na gold board no yes omo find strategy a omo beboa na omo de ayede aboa ma Galamsey no so ate me feel say efa gold board sem no dey say if even assassin say ye nyam hu sebi nyansa na assassin say ya and me feel say any kwan say my assassin say wa bra China for ni India for no omo neba no omo be fa sa sikasem ne ko
that's why China for ni India for na be to gold no ya na ye gold ni e ton ma.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no evidence that China for ni e for no.
Gold board.
China for na Ghana for na de omo ba.
Exactly. Gold board na abamu no.
Dubai for kwa data of the gold do a free Ghana or matter. And in the past, the Ghana declare war crown was different from the Dubai for declare. The Dubai for declare higher amount of gold from Ghana.
Because
the terms of some better
because say gold board neto now or no they call outsider at least sikano. Eba etimi cushion near
maybe gold board that na gold board for to na gold board PMMC. Okay, say to a baby and for some gold be airport no. I'm catch on say PMMC I talk we dada. Normal business our Ghana any number one exporter. I can't that they export your gold. PMMC
the only difference I say that the nyano near groups be bra etimito. The only thing I mean
PMMC Ghana first official Ghanaian institution motor gold.
Exactly.
And keep it in trust for Ghana.
But I say that PMC license no a cobe but I mean I feel say Niniano, maybe the main point in Yan say Sabi said Niniano, say ye minor. Nessa ye my minor conforma. At least yes say a try near to me and fast walk a crack. A free or minor yes.
I disagree. Yet Ghana on a Bronina okay. Some more plan a question on my sustainable development goals. Ghana co-sign with United Nations.
Yeah.
And the February, be must say, oh, and it's Kaka cry yindi. Not that chinchri, but the name is a yikano and say, into your friend and turning it to say Sika Benya, Sikani America for him, or more oil chain most countries. Or more on Sassy most countries.
Yeah, exactly.
One I bet told you why.
Exactly.
Oh, Diamond, she must say, okay.
Exactly.
It is justified the so Sika the Benya. And Chimane Babanomunya.
Answer, sister, the point I'm making first, and then say, sir, in Chilimana 7 and for no. Ninia Babijina party, no so they say make a decision. Emma in Chilimana. Say, yeah, for your young party, no so they are any ever run economy, say, in the next 20 years, no pass, service, and young upon the young quache. Nayatias, not sa party, women and one new rule. Yes, fighting against Galamsey, fighting against Galamsey. In the next 20 years, Steph, I want to hear on corner was feel now we're seeing war Accra no much I see it to us here because a bedu baby or munya be war baby almost sending ye, you know, on Bessas baby for it's the end here. Made me feel say parties name you no yes a Ghana for ye my any brain ye jai say ye belonging to party instead of say a be free and say a Ghana for I be fighting against you can say parties no. I think
parties, the people can join their parties, but any national policy, national agenda, say Omani GSC say NDPC. That was the essence of your forming National Development Planning Commission, NDPC. You need national agenda, any parties in there. Okay, say more bianco joining, Becca said there be. You can join your party, but do we have a national policy? But David, good evening.
Good evening. Which one will I start with? The Galamsey one?
You can start with any of them. Don't worry. It's okay. You just have to make it snappy because we have 3 minutes to go.
All right. So the Galamsey one, I think one thing I would like to say about the Galamsey one is that the fight against Galamsey, some of us are not that grown, but the time we were in school, let's say primary school, junior high school, that was when we started, in books, that's what we used to read about Galamsey. We didn't see Galamsey with our own eyes, you see, until recently that we started seeing people importing excavators into the system. Like people now, because Galamsey was just a community thing where people go to get, let's say they take maybe hoes, shovels and stuff, and then they can do it within that section and get something to feed on. The thing wasn't having anything to do with excavators until rich people started importing heavy duty vehicles into the system and infiltrating that sector. And then people are now saying Galamsey is bad. Galamsey have been existent since time immemorial. But why is it that the water bodies and everything was not the same thing like it is now? It's because people have invaded the system with bad idea. But I'm not supporting Galamsey in any way. But one thing I would like to look at is, I think the tracking system where they are now beginning to be putting trackers on excavators is a step in the right direction. It's going to be one of the ways.
You know the history of the tracking system at the port. They tried that with the containers, and people removed the tracker from the containers.
Yeah, that one was very, very unfortunate because it's not just good that we have to. You see, sometimes I don't know why we keep blaming the politicians. They are not taking initiative. They are not doing that and that. What about the citizenry? We are the ones doing the thing. So why will you be in a country where the government is looking forward to preventing something, and then some individuals in the same country who are saying that no, this government is not doing well, we are not doing that, or the previous government, Akufo-Addo, tried his best, then people have to come in and say no, because he didn't do anything. Meanwhile, you have never seen Akufo-Addo in a Galamsey pit. You see, you've never seen a JM in a Galamsey pit. The people doing the Galamsey, they are still doing it.
They are our own brothers and sisters.
Our own brothers and sisters. So why will you keep blaming? Most of us who usually
I think that people blame the leaders because they want them to show leadership in fighting.
Very good. You see, I've been hearing people say they should declare state of emergency. Vin, you see, you are in a country where they said some arms or whatever in the armory, some of the weapons in the military armory or whatever have disappeared or is missing. They are still tracing. We are living in a country where people are having guns. You go to a Galamsey site with a police officer or an army officer, people are shooting at them. Now, if you declare a state of emergency, what's going to happen is that in the following day, our media space is no longer going to be it's not going to be discussing how many acres of land have been conquered. We are going to be discussing about the number of deaths. Because
people are likely to go to that tangent if a state of emergency is declared.
Of course, if a state of emergency is declared, that's why it's a state of emergency. So you are not supposed to be in the area. If you are there and then the soldiers come and then you fire at them, they'll shoot you. Then you see the death toll. Look, if that thing is done within the next 24 hours, you see the whole discussion will shift. And you know what will happen? Whoever that is going to take responsibility is going to be the president. And where will you take responsibility?
So the state of emergency will rather breed more chaos, so we should not go there.
Yeah, because one thing is that you are also living in a neighboring communities where you have a lot of insurgencies. Like you have the Boko Haram, you have places that are closer where people, small wars, small fighting is not going to stop. So now if we declare a state of emergency, we have various groups. They will infiltrate into such things and begin to fight with your military. And when you realize we are in civil war.
Okay.
So I think they should approach that perspective slowly, at least slowly, until we see that things are not done. But then before I go, one thing I like to ask is, why is it that when people are discussing Galamsey and they are saying the thing is getting worse, what is the parameter? What's the measuring parameter? Is it just looking at the water by your eye that is milky, that shows that it's getting worse? No, we have to get professionals to get into this whole Galamsey thing to see this was the nature of our water let's say, the turbidity
You
level
think
of
the CJ saying that is getting worse? I don't think that's why you need experts. For the ordinary
no.
person, they can see that we used to drink from this river. Now we
Yes.
can no longer drink from. That is the
Yes.
basic level. It's not saying that experts should not work. But I think
No.
at the basic ordinary level, they are saying that the nature of the water is an indication that there's a problem. It's not the same.
I understand that. I understand that. If you go to the community level, that is where you are going to say. But when you get to the national level, where you are now discussing the thing getting worse with the whole world, you are supposed to be giving us figures and indicators. Like just like the way they usually.
We have gone beyond that. I think over the years that has been done. Imani, other mineral commission has given all the figures. Ministry, they've done all that.
So currently, are the figures? What are the current figures? Are they improving? Are they declining? Are they just steady? Or is it that how many? Just like the way they always say, "Oh, we have conquered this a number of forests. This number of forests were claimed by Galamseyers. Now we have reclaimed it." I like those kind of things. But if we
the technical aspect of it, okay.
Yeah, they should let us understand those things. Okay. And the last thing is that about the Baumians, what's the name? Sorry, or apology. Very good. That one, I think it's all right to apologize for things you have done wrong. There's no problem with that. But one thing I've seen is that, you see, just like last week, I was telling you, there's no way Baumia, because if they go for the primaries, Baumia is going to win.
Oh, Baumia will win.
Baumia is going to win. Why? Oh. Because the way the current status quo is, it has been made in a way that Baumia is the favorite. Why? If they really want to have a fair contest, they were supposed to have started the bottom to up, where new executives would have come up, and then we have new album, so that everybody will have a fair chance, so that we will see whether the first people who confirmed Baumia for him to be able to go and contest the 2024 election, will he have the same support?
Okay.
But right now, like I said, if you have the opportunity, somebody is now apologizing, and people are seeing that, oh, the guy is not up to task. Right now, I really don't think, because if you look at Baumia in terms of economy, he has performed woefully. Then you come into the digitization, which is an area he's putting us into. I don't want to get into that, because I don't know why somebody they'll give you a job for you to do, and your job is to manage our economy. And with time, the economy have failed. Then you say, okay, at this time, I'm going to move into digitization, and then we'll follow you.
I think the answer is in the program we did on Monday. Dr. Kokofo explained why there's that shift. So he was saying it wasn't really a shift, but continue your point. I just wanted to give you that information that is.
Okay, so that is not a shift.
Answer is in that video on Monday.
Oh, perfect. Okay, if then I'll rewatch that. If it's not a shift and it is still, economically viable in terms of moving a digitization agenda, that's fine for them.
Okay.
But for me, I was thinking that they should really start from the bottom up, so that we will be able to test from the grassroots level the strength of Dr. Baumia. But if they vote for Dr. Baumia in January 31st, for him to go into 2028, he's not going to win.
He's not going to win 2028.
No. He's not going to. Because, you see, if you look at MPP and NDC, in terms of the way they rally their supporters, it's a bit different. Because MPP, in a way, if, for example, the delegates, the people that are going to vote for you, for example, the delegates that will be voting for Dr. Baumia, when after they've elected him, and then they go in and have a new register, and a new executive comes up. Because you see, all these presidential aspirants, they have people in the background who are looking forward to them to become president in the future, and they're going to benefit. Somebody knows that even if I vote for Dr. Baumia to become the president today, the benefit I will get will not be up to if Ken was the president. So the probability for me to sabotage you and open the opportunity for Ken to come is very close. And so that they'll vote for me, I'll go in as an executive, I'll relax. I'm not going to be doing my duties, campaign vigorously. No. Just like one of
somebody said it today. Yeah. Okay, very well.
That people will look back. It's true.
Okay.
So they should go back to that bottom thing. I really don't think we should go with this 31st thing and start from up, down. They should just go back to this bottom thing. Let new people come in. Let new people test the waters. Let us see whether really they will still vote for Dr. Bawumia or not. That's it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
David, thank you so much for your contribution. Mr. Jaimambusa on the Galamsey point, no. What's your views? Just a quick one, because your time now. Yeah.
Sorry.
No,
Yeah, Sophia. Galamsey a national issue. I don't think we should label it on one party or one president. Say if indeed Ghanaians we've seen say Yensu say yen as a citizen, what are we doing about it? Last time it can be said, as I say, I'm here for no be to me sorry dominancy for. Don't rely on the president now, no, just like Nanaya said. President will be doing 4 years term no ako. Obey new bitini. At the end of the day, 4 years no kwa. What are you going to arrest him? Say, Mama by or may track Galamsey. Of course, almost your campaign will be a just to win your vote. Oba John no head to me, I know I becan some for they twist the amount. As some of can or becan different. Now you are some of the dead so. Now you're not yes or no, I'm also supporters. So yeah, then the idea. Oh, do not ya fun yet. Obeka means an intro now we are supporting Trona who defending. It's your man correct said. Omo no national issue. Say bia. Baby Galamsey no prior nyano. Ghana for nyina no can't I am for no be so sorry. No muntimi and regulate Galamsey no money partner with the government. So what I said now be beer to Manchester idea. Every year will be at the same thing because I be as I said the only thing I bet my boy say and I make a car me I don't want to be biased. Yeah, will be a Juma about my name. If you have a baby by a coin in a Juma now for the Juma or no was sorry and upon a after uniform action I walk office and I said, oh, factory be a quiet Juma. Who need time I do go to attach Akope Sikakoko. So,
bottom line is job creation.
Job creation.
Okay.
Job. Yen creating human name muso. Na Galamsey no teacher. Can a man near man or say banche cross so of us watching good. If only we can regulate it well. Banche near mama kuma 32. I mean research. Me no cause time na me year
one. My yes our program no come Dr. Boboyi. Your friend saying KNUST or yeah, Banchi expert. Yeah, or no label Banchi as white gold.
White gold.
Yeah, it and on that can hear when you man. Yeah. Yes, a friend saying starcher and no the base for tomatoes, Indomie, and a white gold and Ghana number 2, I think, producer after Nigeria.
Exactly.
White gold, but here you so.
Yeah, you so.
We will have to go through that again.
He's 100% right.
I think I know people are about Greek. Say we are not prioritizing our Greek. Any idea near Kusi Galamsey?
Galamsey, man. It's the same. You sign a name, Mercury, near the Shas, as I said. Say, bear crack a bunch of very new news break it down somewhere in OT area. Yes, another mineral BRP or it's called nickel. I don't know if you heard about it. Oh, they came in news about nickel. No, I was just doing research. If you have
a couple of schools. Yeah.
I do say, me and American, we are up here. You're paid for, of course. I'm back on negotiate. No, I call you 3% royalty. No, agenda or the 87, 97. I'm a producer. Faculty issue. We need good negotiations. Say, as a man penny, sit down and negotiate very well. Hey, 50-50. Ultimia, maneco, no gold, then for more. For me, equipment free. After I am to go to it's your baby. It is what Basa will be 2 over 2 of my said there. Open year, your first is the amount 40. At worst case scenario, you're 50-50. And that was a Ghana, you know, actually. It is about time I hear open here. A strong person, a strong leader. Look at Dubai, will be a man, a Keteswa, go Dubai. It takes one person.
No, almost a different thing. It takes one person. No, you didn't know question we near the question. Almost, parliament. I don't
But the thing is that unim sao prince no. Unim your farm true as all get it to get to the
I said you'll be on some coffee Democrats. Why no coffee? You can't blame anybody.
Oh, I'm just referring, said they will attack you. Those who are coming to fix actually do their actual job. No, or man in pray, and then some coffin no more sabotage or more prince and may take you over. No. Now they wish say more be on transfer.
But almost system is slightly different. No, who to me go oppose you because can't be. Can't be leader or again, papa, a bebo.
Right, as a dictator.
Any rights or better challenge you, challenge you.
Yeah, all that I'm
radio station, this is now born to me challenge you.
Right. What I'm trying to reference and I'm making is say Obi Bano Beya the pa, they struggle to get where they are. But the moment Obetima penetrated to break that code, no be deal man anymore. Or prove microphone wrong, I feel just hey, thank you. It will make cases to say near Kenny Kenyan. A big castle, John, a bison to me, Obiso, just say, give him the chance.
Okay.
Let's
that point is to give him the chance.
Yes.
Give him the chance. But you say, Dubai and for what? So our delegates near the end, Ken will not have to go through that because
exactly.
They don't go through all this system. See, a breast was to say answer your question because and then there was this point that Deutsche Welle was making say. I mean, they think they were quoting President Mama say before we be the president of Ghana no. Nesika was saying no. Ni nyina ka ho na yenya leader papa no.
Thank you.
Ni nyina ka ho e na yenya I think it's here yeah. Deutsche Welle for na year story na me peke say. Before nipa no be the president no wanya $200 million.
Look at that.
$200 million. In 2 years say nipa no ba. Obi bo ne bosian sempo ateku a obetik sa aka no. Nipa no so obotik sa aka mo so no ye Galamsey a untumi nkoka. Ono so no say o man na untumi nkoka. Ono no obu o man so untumi nkoka. Ono na e man contract. Now wanya untumi nkoka because already we invested $200 million. And this answer the nature of your democracy now. Kasa ne de na obi kan ye be kasa abre enso ngosi aga.
Efia sa
you
me da say.
That also next week.
Mate. Right. Thank you so much.
That's baby.
Yes,
you. Nti abusa for ma ya na munyina ma se mo join ya me de jaso dwumade ebre mu. Ya from me vim lady. Ya da se so join ya by call and link near there. Thank you. Who send a commenter? Thank you Yakopon Show. You will live on OK. And yes, I call live on Highlight Radio, King's Judges Radio, Naspa Radio, near Adutwum Media, and I'm Gachu FM. Next week, Yakopon the Yankwachen ya. You be sign by to us. Good night. Good night. Thank you so much.